Podmortem would like to thank Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Original Cinematic is an independent production company that has made it their mission to create, produce, and promote films that are inclusive, honor women, promote the LGBTQIA+ community, and provide prominent positions and roles to POC actors and filmmakers, and promote the films of marginalized and underrepresented populations. These are all things that are extremely important to our podcast as well.
Original Cinematic is currently accepting scripts and treatments. Both William and Xxena Rush are also available via email or Zoom to discuss writing and provide input and resources to all aspiring writers, free of charge. Their information will be made available in the show notes. There may be delays due to a hectic schedule and all projects being read on a first-come, first-served basis, but everything will be read and responded to. William Rush has individually produced numerous projects, including Pack is Here, Before, The Cottage, The Winemaker, and Day by Day. Their multi-award-winning film Group premiered and was celebrated at multiple film festivals as well as screenings, both in person and via Zoom, that were graciously made available to us and our patrons.
Original Cinematic has many exciting projects on the horizon. Their next film, Immersion, has been completed. The award-winning Sweetener is in development. Fetish begins shooting in September, and Encore will begin next spring. Their documentary, Women in Conversation, is slated for a September release, and we're looking forward to each and every one of them. It is truly an honor to partner with Original Cinematic, and we can't thank them enough for their contribution to our show. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Salutations! Welcome to Podmortem. I'm Reneé Hunter-Vasquez, joined as always by my co-hosts, my husband, and my brother.
Hi, I'm John Paul Vasquez.
Hi, I'm Travis Hunter-Sayapin.
This week, we're recording live from the Sanctuary, discussing the 2009 animated sci-fi horror film, 9. This film was directed by Shane Acker, with a screenplay by Pamela Petler, based on the short film by Acker. The unexpected success of Acker's short film led to the opportunity to make his very first feature. Acker utilized his love of animation to tell a tale of warning, darkness, and hope. With interesting and creative character design, committed performances from its cast, and an unfortunately increasingly salient story, 9 is hailed as an animated standout for many horror fans. This film was requested to us by friend of the show, Jason the Ghost. We want to thank Jason for all the support as well as this suggestion. This film was also the winner of our May Patreon poll, so thank you to all of our patrons who participated and voted. If you want to help us pick an episode, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/thepodmortem. So, what did you guys think of 9 the first time you saw it?
So I think we have a date for this movie?
We do, thanks to Letterboxd.
Yes, yeah. I don't remember watching it at that time, but I do remember that when I first watched it, I really liked it. And then you telling me what happened, I believe you. So then that's what happened. But I even that, I remember liking it and then watching it for the show. I really, really like this movie. I don't think it does anything like we're not reinventing the wheel. We're not whatever. I think it does a really good job of telling the story that they're trying to tell. And I'm going to be honest, for me, this was a little close to home.
Yeah.
It felt very familiar present day.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that does anything for my score or not, but I mean, spoiler alert, it does.
So we don't have to guess.
No.
But yeah, I do remember we watched this for the first time together. I think it was all of us and our parents.
Okay.
And the kids, yeah.
And the kids. It was lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember sitting on the couch and watching it for the first time. I think I was honestly not paying as much attention as I probably should have the first time. But rewatching it for the show this time, I feel like there is a lot more to be gleaned from it.
Yeah.
I do really appreciate whenever animated films have such depth to them, because I feel like far too often animated films are kind of relegated to, a lot of people think that they don't have a lot going on. They think that they're just for kids.
Yeah.
Could not disagree more.
Right.
And I think that there are, especially times like this, where there is something beneath what we are witnessing just on screen.
Yeah.
I think that this film is like really, really beautifully animated. And it's very interesting to me how they differentiate characters from each other
Yeah.
and locations from each other.
Right.
Because they're all rag dolls.
Yeah, they are. Yes.
And so it's very easy to say, they're all going to look very similar, but each one has like defining characteristics.
Yeah.
And even behavior that is befitting of them that you can kind of just say, oh, and it's so weird to be like, oh, that's two. That's fine.
Yeah. And
I
you
know.
don't get them confused.
No.
Which
Like,
is a major credit.
that is so 7.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that's it's a really skillful way that they handle all of that. I think the cast is unbelievable, and each time a person would talk, it'd be like, "Oh, that's you." That's every single time, and it's really, really impressive the cast that they were able to assemble for it. There are some very heartfelt sequences in this thing, and I was actually surprised because, on one hand, I do think that the narrative is kind of underbaked, and I would like a little more with the characters, especially their dynamics with each other.
Right.
Again, I understand this movie's like 72 minutes long.
Yeah.
And so you're just not going to get that.
Yeah.
But I think that even with those things that are kind of not even strikes against it for me, I think that they still are able to tell a compelling story that keeps you engaged.
Right.
And like you had said, and I think we might have, I want to say it was the Terminator that we talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's this very weird thing where that the year that this film was made, they were not talking about what we're thinking about right now.
Right.
Yep.
But if you recontextualize it through a modern lens, all I could think is how anti-AI 9 is.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, no, yeah.
And
Big time.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, but I think that that's kind of the beauty of we don't get a lot. We're almost in the shoes of our protagonist where we're learning bits and pieces of what has happened because he doesn't know and we can kind of piece together, as people who know and understand history, this, is referencing this or things that could have happened with this or things that could potentially happen, whatever. But I think that it's the beauty of the almost simplicity of the storytelling that it is watching it in 2026. It's like, oh, I'm thinking of something that did not exist when they were making this. And it's incredible. And like you said, it does hit a little close to home where it's like we had all these. I just told you, I can't remember what we had read or what TikTok we had saw, some news, something. And I said, we grew up watching so many movies that warned us against this. And we're still fucking doing it.
We had Captain Planet. What the fuck are we doing?
I don't know.
Don Cheadle, man.
Yeah.
Yes.
That wasn't enough?
Yeah, I know.
We're a disappointment. But I agree. I think that it is visually a beautiful film. I think the voice acting is really, really great. And there's something interesting about that we'll get into once we start getting into the plot. And I'll be completely honest, we do our animation poll in May, and there was some real cool horror anime on there that I had never seen that I was rooting for. And so when 9 won, I was like, oh, the only one I've seen before. Cool. That's fine, I guess. But rewatching it, it really does. It hits very differently. And I don't know. It just spoke to me, I think, in a more meaningful way than when I had seen it before. But I think that it's like both of y'all said, it's not reinventing the wheel. It's not this airtight, deep story with a whole bunch of it's not that. It is a pretty human story told with rag dolls and in a very kind of simplistic way that has multiple meanings depending on where you are in your life or in history when you're watching it. And I think it's just a really, really good film. And ultimately, I am glad that it won.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we get a chance to talk about it. So I do want to, of course, briefly dive into the production and the story behind this film. My sources are a behind-the-scenes featurette and interviews with Shane Acker that he did with Gone with the Twins, FirstShowing.net, and Den of Geek.
Okay.
So the story for 9 begins when Shane Acker is in college. But it wasn't animation that he was studying, it was architecture. When he was working on his master's degree at UCLA, he was focusing on computer design and fell in love with it. This led him down the path of animation, and he started taking classes. He had already had an idea for a while about rag dolls in a post-apocalyptic world, and he decided to finally move forward with the idea and make it his thesis film. The motto they were talking about on the featurette was one student, one film. So he did nearly everything by himself, working for 4.5 years to complete his 10-minute short film,
Wow.
9.
Damn.
He said that after working on this for 4 years, he had no further hopes or ideas for it. He was done with 9. But his short film would gain him unexpected attention, and Acker decided to hire an agent. 9, the short film, would go on to premiere at Sundance. And while the short film was on the festival circuit, his agent was in Hollywood taking meetings. Ultimately, Acker's short film 9 would be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film.
God damn.
It lost to The Moon and the Sun, An Imagined Conversation, but just the nomination would open doors for Shane Acker. Producer Jim Lemley was shown the short film, and he was completely blown away by it. Even more, he saw the potential of a feature film set in this world with these characters. Acker had been told the same before, and although he had first made the short film as a showcase of his capabilities, he was excited to delve deeper into the world that the short film only teased. He was taking meetings. He estimated hundreds of them that were all ultimately disappointing. It's when he's leaving one of these meetings that Lemley chases him down the hall, gushing about the potential of turning his film into a feature. In one of the interviews, Acker was very appreciative of everyone who helped him along the way, but he said that it was Lemley who he really felt like was the first one to believe in him and the project.
Okay.
Lemley just happened to be friendly with Mike Simpson, agent of one Tim Burton.
Oh.
Lemley sends Simpson the short, and within a week, Acker is on the phone pitching the feature film to Tim Burton with the short as his proof of concept. Acker was astonished that Tim Burton felt connected to the short film, and Tim Burton offered to help him in any way that he could. He would end up coming on as a producer.
Damn.
I feel like this is well within his wheelhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just surprised that the film isn't called Tim Burton's.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I would
thinking the
feel
same
we
thing.
don't have any skeletons or thin people, so I don't know why.
Thin people.
Yeah, well, everybody's like a pencil or something.
Usually, yes,
Yeah.
that's his favorite.
Yeah.
You know what just occurred to me?
Huh.
Coraline also came out this year.
Oh.
Oh.
So I can just imagine Henry Selick finding out that Tim Burton's got another animated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
He flipped the table.
Yeah.
definitely flipped the table. But of course, with Tim Burton on the project now, things are moving forward.
Yeah.
Pamela Petler is brought on as screenwriter, and we have talked about her before because she co-wrote Monster House,
Okay.
and she did the screenplay for Corpse Bride for Tim Burton.
Oh, nice.
Acker said that he felt like a dog that was chasing a car, but the car stopped and he ran right into the back of it. Now that everything was finally in motion and what he was chasing was finally happening, he realized he had no preparation for what was going on.
Oh, no.
What he did know was that the short film was going to be a slice of a bigger story. There was mythology that couldn't be explored within a 10-minute short film, but he only had snippets of ideas as to what a full story would even be. And he also knew that he didn't just want to remake that original 10-minute short. Pamela Petler told him to throw out every single idea that he had. She would sift through them and puzzle together what they could make work and cut out what didn't work. She said that they spent an entire summer putting up boards for each character and for each scene as they were developing them. But Acker's main takeaway was that they were working on the story together. Producers had ideas and input, so did animators, so did voice actors, and Acker found it almost freeing to take in all of their opinions and collaborate. He had worked with his head down on 9 for 4.5 years, only consulting himself with anything having to do with the look or the story. Working with such a large team now was such a different and welcome experience for him, and once he realized that he could relinquish the control that he was used to having over every little aspect, it made his feature film debut a very collaborative and enjoyable effort.
What a wild change of pace.
Yeah.
But good for him, because it isn't easy to
switch up.
Yeah.
9 had a really cool marketing campaign with the character of the scientist having his own Facebook page. There was a dedicated website, a mobile game, a stylish trailer featuring Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria.
Dude, I remember that. Yeah. I was like, this film is dark. Good Lord.
And it had a very clever release date of 9/9/09. After about 3 years of production, 9 premiered on time, September 9th, 2009, earning mixed and lukewarm reviews and bringing in $49 million against its $30 million budget.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's good. It's
right?
fine.
We made a little extra.
Yeah, it's okay.
Here's $19 million.
Still, it could be argued that 9 is an underappreciated gem with commentary and messaging that has only become more necessary and important over the intervening 17 years. So thank you once again to our Patreon for voting this in, because it's the perfect time to get into this one.
Ah.
It's the number. Yeah.
It is another. Yeah, great job.
Now, before we doom this film, we would like to issue a warning for spoilers. Pod Mortem is a very in-depth podcast, and in thoroughly discussing horror films, we have no choice but to spoil a thing or two. If you don't wish to be spoiled, please go watch the film, then come back and enjoy the show. If you've already seen the film or don't care about spoilers, then let's go back to the source. The film begins with the watchful eye of a scientist, played by Alan Oppenheimer, peering through the thick lenses of his glasses as he threads a needle.
Alan Oppenheimer, he was in 65 episodes of the Ghostbusters TV show in 86. He was in 24 episodes of Flash Gordon from 79 to 82. And this motherfucker is Skeletor from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe from 83 to 85, 130 episodes.
Wow.
Even in some of the movies.
Do you want to know something else crazy?
Tell me.
He is third cousins with J. Robert Oppenheimer.
That's wild. Whenever I saw, because they do the thing on Prime where you have like the IMDb thing. When I saw that his surname was Oppenheimer and...
He's a scientist.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's some connections here too. Once we realized with the narrative.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I Googled it because I was like, how many Oppenheimers have you heard?
Right. I thought it was like a stage name. I was like, he changed it so he could be cool or whatever.
Heisenberg.
Yeah. I was like, that's crazy.
That's wild.
I know. He cuts a swatch of woven fabric, the sharp scissors crunching their way through. He holds a limp and empty fabric doll in his hand, a metal zipper yawning open on its middle. When he holds the frayed ends of 2 wires together, an attached shutter blinks. He uses a screwdriver to fix the joints on tiny articulated hands. So I'm going to say one more thing about Coraline and then I'll stop. It also opened with the making of a doll.
It did?
It did.
And I wonder if another table might have been flipped.
So he's taking everything from me. Henry.
It's Henry's turn to kick the hole in the wall. Okay?
Yes, he's earned it.
The scientist's voice muses. We had such potential, such promise, but we squandered our gifts, our intelligence. The scientist slides 2 of those blinking shutters to serve as eyes for his small creation, and with an ink pen, he marks something onto its back. As he unzips its middle and slides a cable inside, he continues, "Our blind pursuit of technology only sped us quicker to our doom. Our world is ending, but life must go on." The rag doll hangs in front of the talisman, an important-looking piece of metal with symbols carved into it. When the rest of the screen goes black, these symbols glow green before swirling together and creating the title of the film, 9. The number shines bright in the darkness before twisting as we fall into it, and everything goes black. It's already the technology talk. And
Yeah, I think we fucked up.
yeah, I'm blotting sweat
Yeah.
from,
I
from my brow.
Like everything works out, right?
When we return to the office, the doll that the scientist created, this Stitch Punk, is still hanging suspended from one arm. And Stitch Punk is a term that Acker said that he wishes he made up himself, but that he read it on a blog and thought it was absolutely perfect. So that's what he refers to these as. Because he said he loves the steampunk aesthetic, and you can tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, Stitch Punks.
Oh, I was calling them the Thread Kennedys.
Very good. But we linger on the doll, whose confused eyes open wide. He pushes up on his hand to look around, the shutters of his eyes adjusting. He taps the sides of them, which look like the thick frames of glasses, before marveling at his own pointy fingers. He flexes them. When he finds the open zipper at his middle, he peers inside quietly. But just ahead, the fallen talisman is sparking with electricity. The Stitch Punk gets to his feet, and we can finally see clearly what the scientist scrawled on his back. 9.
So he's our lead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Number 9 walks over to the talisman. He picks it up and turns it in his hands, raising his gaze to the edge of the table he stands on and peering over the ledge. He finds the scientist face down on the floor, motionless. Pages of his work have been blown over his face. 9 steps back in alarm, and we pan away, seeing just how small he is in relation to the scientist's cluttered office. A harsh wind blows the shutters over the window, knocking them loudly against the frame. This catches 9's attention. He traverses the table, navigating clumsily over papers and books before climbing up to the window ledge.
So I think I can speak for all of us when I say that these things are very, very reminiscent of Little Big Planet.
Yeah.
1,000% yes.
It was the first thing that I thought of whenever we were watching this, even back then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those things are adorable.
'Cause
Yes.
you said they're Stitch Punks?
Yes.
But in Little Big Planet, or he's just what? Sack Boy.
Sack Boy.
Sackboy, I feel like is much worse.
Yeah, I know.
It's flippant.
Yeah. It feels insulting.
It does a little bit now.
Now.
But because of that, I think I can see how easily this world could translate to a video game.
For sure.
Yeah,
And
okay.
that, as we go on, I wanted to bring that up later as well, because as we go on, it definitely, I guess the rhythm that this movie takes feels very video game to me.
Yeah.
9 pushes the shutters open, and we quickly pan away from the dilapidated house he's in, the entire structure of the bottom eaten away, with the top of the house balancing precariously on its withering frame. Sadly, this seems to be the most complete house of the area. Skeletons of the ruined homes cling desperately, like memories, with dark rolling clouds overhead. 9's face registers the shock of what he's witnessing. He looks down at a crater in the ground below, but next to it, he sees movement. There's someone down there. 9 reaches forward and tries to cry out to them, but no sound comes out. He feels at his throat before plunging the talisman into his middle and zipping it up. 9 jumps off the table, his feet knocking against the floor as he sprints from the room. We stay behind for just a moment longer, panning past blueprints depicting a Stitch Punk. It's blown against a small polished wooden box. A tag with the number 9 dangles from its side, and the scientist's dead fingers are still resting on its top.
That's a design flaw on behalf of the scientist because he doesn't even know that he is number 9.
No.
Yeah.
So he's like, asked for someone else.
I'll give it to him. I know where it goes.
But the first time I ever saw this, whenever he's standing at the window and surveying the world, first of all, it is a frightening visual to see.
Yeah.
And then you start to think, you're like, well, what are these things exactly? And until you learn, you're like, well, how does he know that this is bad? Or how does he know this is any different?
Yeah.
But we learn exactly how and why he knows.
Yeah.
And so, again, it is something that you look back on certain moments and you're like, oh, this is explained completely.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Thunder cracks in the sky as Nine hurries down the house's uneven steps. His feet clatter against broken stones when he rushes to the front of the house, peering down the desolate road where he just saw someone traveling. He sprints in that direction, pausing at a ruined car to peer inside. In the seat, a woman's body slumps eternally, her face craned away from us and toward the shattered glass of her window. In her arms, she cradles an equally lifeless child, his tiny arms slung over hers. I kind of couldn't believe this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was speechless.
Not only the dead body, but the little child in her I was like, okay, this is going to be fucking dark.
Mhm.
Yeah, but we see the setting of where we're at.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like things have been bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think to that level, it's like they're really not shying away from the bleakness.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that this film is PG-13.
It is.
Okay.
And so it seems like they take advantage of that in a way to allow for moments like this. I mean, one of the first things we saw was a scientist's dead body.
Yeah. Acker said in one of the interviews that I read that PG-13 was kind of a sticky spot to be in because parents might think it's too much for the younger kids and older people might think it's going to be lame because it's PG-13.
Right.
So it was kind of like in the interview, he was like, there is no blood, there's no nudity, there's nothing like trying to get parents to be like, it is okay. You can bring your kid to this. It's dark, but it's not like graphic or overly scary or anything. But I think that there was a worry, and maybe it was true looking at the box office, that it is kind of a weird rating to have. You know what I mean? It is and it isn't, but
I think it is difficult because how can you or how do you appeal to both groups?
Exactly.
Yeah,
especially with a movie like this.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this isn't a kid's movie.
No.
But it is rated PG-13, but it's also not an adult movie, but it isn't rated PG. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, whatever.
Well, they have the adorable characters, and then they're like, we'll put Coheed and Cambria in the...
Yeah. That'll balance it out. I do think that this is kind of a perfect example, though, of the darkness and bleakness of this film without it being gratuitous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're not covered in blood. They're not like missing heads. Like, it is very like soberingly just awful.
Yeah.
And they are mostly silhouetted.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. It is background.
Yeah. Nine lurches back in horror and strings in the score sing with grief. But Nine presses forward, past a flyer. On it, fists reach high, clenching what appear to be pieces of metal in their grip. The point is clear with the single word at the top: revolt. Nine's gaze raises to a symbol on the brick wall in front of him.
I don't like the flag. I don't
yeah.
know the symbol or whatever. Yeah, it's very fascist or very like
You see it and you kind of understand everything
immediately.
Yeah. But I feel like that's really good storytelling because they're kind of using our knowledge of history.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
You know, it is, again, it's a pretty mature theme to tackle in a film like this.
Yeah.
But I think that it's handled well.
Mm-hmm.
Nine continues forward carefully, turning nervously at every sound. There's a metallic scraping up high on a hill of debris. Nine looks up at this with fear, and when a glowing light at the top starts to fall on him, he runs and hides. Still, someone approaches on slow footsteps, bringing the light with them, and just as they reach Nine, Nine grabs up a piece of metal and swings. The other person goes flying, the light immediately going out. But at the sight of Nine, this new Stitch punk smiles, imploring that Nine wait. He's a friend. He stands, a contraption of a hat featuring the curved metal head of a spoon behind an extinguished candle. A glasses lens hinges in front of it when Nine lifts him to his feet. With them next to each other, we see that he is a cruder version of Nine. He grasps Nine's hands, admitting that he always hoped. When he circles Nine to inspect him, he reveals the number on his own back. 2. 2, played by Martin Landau, is amazed by Nine's construction, musing, so much thought.
Martin Landau, we recently talked about him in Sleepy Hollow.
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yeah.
His voice is so perfect for this character.
Mm-hmm.
He's the first person that you start to see kind of the Tim Burton connection with Sleepy Hollow. And he played Bela Lugosi in Ed Wood. That's another Tim Burton, and you have Tim Burton on as a producer, and you're like, well, how much of a hand did you have in the casting?
Right. 2 flips Nine's hand so the palm is up. He traces his own metal finger over it, pointing out the details, the carved wood, the molded copper. He bends Nine's fingers at the joints. 9 raises his hand to his own throat and opens his mouth. 2 understands. You can't speak. After unzipping 9 and taking a peek inside, 2 seems to have an idea. He invites 9 to come with him. They make a short trek to a fallen baby doll, its middle open and its insides exposed with one remaining eye lolling in its head. 2 strikes a match against the bottom of his foot and relights the candle on his hat before searching inside the doll. Curious, 9 looks through the debris on the side of the street and finds a bullet. He knocks his finger against it, earning metallic clangs. 2 pulls something out of the doll and turns to give it to 9, but he finds 9, raising the bullet high above his head, ready to swing it down on the rest of the debris. 2 cries out for him to stop. 9 listens, pulling the bullet back before making contact.
Was he just gonna explode?
Yeah. Like, fuck it. Let's see what this does.
I guess. I think though, revisiting this after watching the whole film again, I think this is kind of important foreshadowing to 9's kind of dangerous curiosity.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about that.
Oh my God.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
As he stares at 2 takes the bullet from his hands, cautioning that some things in this world are better left where they lie. He sets the bullet back down and 9 blinks at him, confused. 2 takes the piece he pulled from the doll and slides it into 9's unzipped middle, informing him that if you know where to look, the ruins are full of riches. With the doll's piece locked into place, 2 twists it, the clicking producing a garbled sound when 9 tries to speak. He questions, "Friend? Friend?" Finally, the piece clicks in perfectly, and we are finally able to hear 9, played by Elijah Wood, when he's able to question with a smile and a perfectly clear voice. "Friend?"
Elijah Wood, we talked about him in Maniac, and it's fucking Master Frodo.
Master Frodo and the greatest child actor of all time.
That's right.
Yes.
And yes.
True.
How good was he in that?
Oh, fantastic.
Incredible. And he's great in this.
Yes,
He could do no wrong.
Yeah.
So now that we're, our main character can speak, the short film has no dialogue in it at all. There's no speaking whatsoever.
Okay.
It's primarily 9 and a character, my favorite character that we meet in a little bit. But they don't speak. They can't speak. But Tim Burton really loved that aspect of the short film, and he pushed for this film to have no dialogue whatsoever. Acker and Petler said that they kept having difficulty trying to convey the stories and the characters and the lore without using any words, and adhering to what Tim Burton wanted was just becoming a burden to the story. Ultimately, Acker felt like words were necessary to provide individuality and richness to the characters to help kind of differentiate them. So Tim Burton in that featurette finally relented when he said he was able to listen to the cast and realize that they weren't just celebrity voices, they were actually acting and performing. But it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you What?
You were stubborn.
Yeah,
Just be
you're
honest.
Tim Burton. Get the
Yeah.
fuck
Yeah.
out of here, dude.
You know that voice acting is acting.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate that they were like, look, this isn't going to, I cannot imagine that Tim Burton is an easy person to say no to. And so I wondered if this was maybe a leftover aspect of 9 not being able to speak and then 2 helping him know how to speak. Was that opening conceived when 9 couldn't speak? You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I think that it does provide so much more to the characters and their intentions. And like, I don't know. I think that this would be a completely different movie if it were completely silent. I think it would still be interesting.
Yeah.
But the voice acting in this is just really, really good.
Oh, yeah. We need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, it perfectly helps, aside from their designs, to help differentiate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did also want to add that the animators said that the limitations in the facial features of the Stitch Punks made things very difficult to work with. They had the characters rendered in 3D on their computers and they would manipulate them like digital puppets. For the parts that had voice acting, the animators were able to reference the actors' voices and emotion. But when the rag dolls aren't speaking, the animators essentially become the actors. They worked with mirrors at their desk so that they could look at themselves and kind of pull faces or mouth words to see what the doll's mouth would do, because they didn't have a reference point for an actor. And so if they were having trouble with movement or body language, the animators would come together, block and act out the scenes, how things would naturally flow. And so they would do stuff and be like, no, like I wouldn't move that way. I'd move this way. And it would kind of change the way that the scene would play out. And so these characters are very much a performance of their animators as much as they are of their voice actors.
That's
so
cool.
yeah, I
Yeah.
wanted to point that out because that I thought was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peering up at him through the hinged lens in front of his face, 2 confirms this. Friend. He swings the lens out of the way and blinks up at his new friend before looking back through his zipper. He finds the talisman and is thrilled that 9 found it. He muses. He's always drawing this. He laughs gleefully, but something roars in the distance. I am disappointed at the timing of this roar because who's always drawing this?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, there's more. 9's head jerks in that direction, and he asks 2, are we alone? 2 answers that they're not, and when the roaring is louder the second time, he turns toward it too. He shushes 9 and moves him away with a whisper to go. 9 scampers away as 2 twists a handle on the side of his hat. The spoon comes down, extinguishing the candle's flame again. And even just this little contraption, I feel like it speaks so much to this character
Yeah.
and how he's like scavenging through everything and finding a voice box. But like, it's very rich already. And we've been with him for like, I don't know, 3 minutes or something.
It helps that we can identify these things.
For sure.
Because it is like, oh, I know it sounds dumb, but it's like, hey, there's a spoon in the drawer.
Yes.
Hey, I have a little tea light candle over there.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you did find all this shit and just put it together.
For sure. And they said that they wanted it to be very clear that these were real objects. Like, because we're kind of blending future and past
Yeah.
a little bit. And so it's like, this isn't some magical hat. Like, he fucking put this shit together.
Yeah.
When 9 turns back around to look at 2, 2 waves his hand, telling him to get inside the can next to him. Without further question, 9 hurries into the hole in the side of the aluminum can. 2 stands bravely with his weapon, a stick with 2 sharp edges. He clutches it with both hands. When something rises behind him, 2 turns with a gasp, just in time for a clawed metal hand to come down and slap him. 2 flies and hits the ground hard, his weapon bouncing away from him. He hurries to collect it, but the metal hand slaps down on it. We pan up to see the creature, the cat beast, a mechanical body around a cat's skull with a glowing red eye in its left socket. It screeches out a roar right at 2. Just as it scoops him up, 2 manages to snatch his weapon from the ground.
So this is horrifying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't counted on that from jump.
Yeah.
Honestly, when we get to this, in my mind, especially with it being so early, I was like, oh, so this is the big bad.
Right,
Like,
right.
that's it.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's like being a mouse in a cat's world,
Yeah.
which is fucking frightening.
Yeah.
But just seeing the design on this thing, I was like so blown away by the creativity and making everything so unique.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I was also really intrigued because I was like, how did they come up with this? What's the story behind why this exists as it is?
Right.
You know?
I love the blend of like the cold metal and like the mechanized part of it with an organic
Yeah.
skull. You know what I mean? Like it's just this really cool blend. And they said that they studied the movement of cats and monkeys to get how the cat beast like prances around and runs and all that.
I don't see the monkey, but
Not really. But that's what they
fine.
said.
You know?
If it's there.
Yeah.
It's not for us to.
No. Well,
no.
he is going bananas.
Yeah.
When the cat beast raises two to its face, two swings, bashing the cat against the head. The cat beast roars and throws two in frustration. He crashes against the abandoned doll, losing the talisman when he lands. 9 is watching with horror through the hole in the side of the can as the cat beast picks up the talisman and looks it over with its glowing red eye. 9 gasps in terror and flings himself back into the can, but this just earns the cat beast's attention. 9 breathes heavily, pressing against the side as the cat beast's light examines the opening. Just when he thinks he's safe, the cat beast lunges a metal claw inside, nearly snatching up 9. He's able to dodge the claws, but the cat beast isn't done. It turns the can, examining the inside, and only stopping when 2 throws a rock that hits it in the head. 2 taunts from his place in the rubble for it to finish what it started with him. I was like, God damn.
Dude. I will say he is shivering a tremendous amount.
Yeah.
He is very scared, but he is a real one.
He is.
Yeah.
The growling beast lowers itself to a trembling 2 before snatching it up in its jaw. With 2 dangling from its mouth, the cat beast takes one last look inside the now empty can. When it doesn't find 9, it picks the talisman back up instead and deposits it into its collar. It turns to run, 2 still lying limply in its jaw.
And that was another thing. I'm like, it's a little worrisome that he had an exact place for this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Or maybe it's a collarbone. Maybe. I don't
All
know.
right.
But he just popped it in
He
there.
did. He's like, that's where that goes.
They were looking for it.
Yeah. When 9 raises himself over a stone to look, 2 reaches for him, groaning. The hat falls from 2's head and clatters against the ground, breaking. The cat beast picks up the pace as it runs into the distance, closing the gap between itself and a far-off factory. 9 stands, clutching his injured arm as he runs off, alone once again. But elsewhere, someone is watching. The shuddering blinks bring us closer and closer to 9, who lumbers, hurt and distant. Finally, he falls to the ground motionless, coaxing up a puff of dust. The person watching, another Stitch punk, peers out from behind a telescope, fearful and concerned, and it cuts to black.
I don't know why he collapsed.
He reached his limit.
I'm
Dude.
trying-
He's a fucking newborn.
I guess, yeah.
That does suck.
For a baby's day out, that's a bit much.
Yeah. You meet somebody, they help you find your voice, then they get carried away.
Saving you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was guilt.
He's like, oh. When 9 opens his eyes again, there are multiple dangling tools over him. A screwdriver, forceps, a knife. Suddenly, a pair of scissors lunges into view, aimed right at his head. 9 cries out and pushes the scissor wielder out of the way. The scissors land blade down into the floor of this new room, sticking straight up. This new Stitch punk, who only has one eye, assures 9 that he's not going to hurt him. He's safe now, with them. Big buttons adorn the front of him instead of the sleek zipper that 9 has. He picks the scissors back up, revealing the number on his back to be 5. Instead of using the scissors to harm 9, 5 played by John C. Reilly, uses them to snip the last stitch of the repair he sewed into Nine's shoulder. He muses that he never expected to see another one.
Mr. John C. Reilly.
Yes.
We all love him, so I'm going to give him some extra love. He was in Boogie Nights in 97, Gangs of New York in 02, Talladega Nights in 06,
Yes.
Walk Hard in 07, Step Brothers in 08, and Wreck-It Ralph in 2012.
What
There's
a run.
more. There's
He's
more.
in
Of course.
Chicago.
Yes, Chicago. Yes, yeah.
Was it we need to talk about Kevin?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
The good girl.
We could go for a long time.
I
Yes.
love John C. Reilly. And he's so like fucking goofy and funny and shit like Talladega Nights or
Yeah.
Step Brothers. A lot of people don't realize he is a really good actor. Like
Yeah.
He
a
is.
really good dramatic actor.
Yeah.
But 5 is hands down my favorite character.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
And yeah.
I'm trying to think of a way to quantify how scary it was for Nine to wake up like that.
Yeah, it was.
True.
Yeah. And he's like, there, that should hold or whatever. I was like, that is not what you were doing.
It was right over his face.
It was.
It was.
Returning the scissors to the wall, 5 laments that if 2 were here, he would have done a better job. He wonders where he's gotten off to. 9 reveals that he was with 2. 5 is shocked. Out there? He starts to ask a question, but they're interrupted when another Stitch punk enters the room. This one carries a staff and a makeshift crown with a coin strapped to it. On the front of the copper coin is the number 1. 1, played by Christopher Plummer, accuses, keeping secrets from me, I see.
Christopher Plummer. He was in Knives Out in 2019, Up in 09,
That's right.
The Sound of Music in 65,
Oh, wow.
and Dreamscape in 84. This man is also an Academy Award winner, a 2-time Tony winner, 2 Emmys, a Golden Globe winner, and a Screen Actors Guild Award winner.
God
Incredible.
Damn.
Yeah.
His character in this
Oh,
film,
You know,
God.
he plays him very well, but Jesus.
I know.
5 hurries over, trying to explain that he was coming to tell him, but 1 continues forward, rudely knocking 5 out of the way with his staff. He uses the hooked end of it to twist 9 so that he can see his back. When 5 admits that he found him in the emptiness, 1 wheels around to face him. He advances aggressively, his red cape flapping as he gives us a good view of his crude body made of uneven buckled straps. He demands to know what 5 was doing out there. 5 backs away, stammering fearfully. 1 hooks his staff around 5's neck, pulling him close as he glares, admonishing that 5 is going to lead the beast right back to them. How many times has he told them? 9 speaks up. The beast is what took 2, and if they hurry, they can save him. 1 turns to face 9, dismissing coldly that if the beast took him, that's the end of it. 9 counters that 2 is still alive, but 1 booms, no. He slams his staff down on the ground, emphatic that they have rules. The bell on the end of his staff rings, and another Stitch punk, the largest by far, comes lumbering into the room with the giant blade dragging across the floor. He looms behind 1, his number on his shoulder, 8. Which we can kind of tell from the progression of the numbers that we're seeing that, like, they get a little more refined every time. And so it is funny to think that 8 was made this like big hulking monster. And the scientist is like, we got to dial this back. I went too far with this. 1 looks up at 8, reporting coldly that their new guest seems confused, but perhaps he can help him achieve some clarity. He walks away, leaving 8 to fix a hard gaze down at 9 as he slaps the blade of his weapon against his palm. With a nudge of his head toward the door, 5 follows the silent orders and leaves. 9 trails behind him, passing directly under the towering 8, who offers a cold snort. Stepping outside of the room reveals them to be in a worn-down cathedral. 9 looks upward to find a plane crashed into the broken roof. Placing a hand on 9's shoulder, 5 asks hopefully, "It didn't kill him?" But following close behind, 8, played by Fred Tatasciore, warns, "Quiet."
Fred Tatasciore, I'm going to be honest. This man has over 1,000 voice acting credits. I think 1,065.
Oh my God.
What I pulled from, I was like, okay. He was on 15 episodes of Invincible.
Okay.
From 21 to 26. 6 episodes of Love, Death, and Robots from 19 to 25. And 102 episodes of Family Guy from 99 to 25. But everything this dude does. Everything.
Games.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You have seen his name more than you realize.
Yes.
When I was, obviously to do the credit for this, I was like, oh, I know him. Like, because I was like, I don't know how to say his name yet, but I know that I've seen the name a lot. 9 and 5 follow 1 onto a small metal bucket. 8 hurries 9 along with a hard push and laughs darkly as he joins the smaller 3. He closes the door and stands in front of the crank. 5 advises 9 to hold on as he grips the side of the bucket, and as 8 turns, they begin to rise on a rope. They lift up through the floors of the cathedral to another room at the top. They get out of the bucket and walk through, the score lilting hopefully as we look up at the untouched stained glass window. Something moves in the shadows, and when 9 hears this, he turns to look. 1 directs his attention forward instead, informing him that when they woke up in this world, it was chaos. Man and machine attacked each other with fire and metal. We follow 1's gaze to the top of the cathedral, through a window adorned with a clock, gliding past the hands to the past on the other side. Shots fire and echo. Bombs are dropped. The world quakes. People are running around, desperate to escape the horrors. But someone else runs along the uneven stones as well. 7 traverses the ground to an overturned helmet. 8 and 1 are inside, with 1 peering through a small hole in the metal with a much smaller metal crown, no staff, and no regal cape. With a glance at 8, the brute lifts the helmet. 7, played by Jennifer Connelly, stands there, reporting that she found others. A couple more Stitch punks cower behind her, and with 5, who still has the use of both eyes, bringing up the rear, they're led into the safety of the helmet.
7 is a clear second favorite.
Yeah.
7 is a fucking badass. Yeah.
Jennifer Connelly, she was in Labyrinth in 86, The Rocketeer in 91, Hulk in 03, and Alita Battle Angel in 2019.
On the featurette, she said that this is her first voice acting role.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's honestly surprising.
Yeah.
You see a lot, especially in like voice acting circles, that they kind of differentiate between how difficult it is to make that transition.
Yeah.
So I think that for your first time,
Yeah. Because she had said that it was her first time doing this, and obviously Acker's first time directing a film, and that he made it very easy, and he was very collaborative and, open to how they interpreted the character, and that it was just fun.
Okay.
Another explosion rocks everything, but 7 is undeterred. She tells 1 that she found a path ahead. She rushes off, and after a moment of contemplation, 1 tells the others to follow him. Their feet moving quickly under the dome of the helmet, they hurry along, with only 7 fully exposed, leading the way. But when another blast hits, the helmet is knocked forward, and 5 falls behind. He lands flat on his stomach on a small plank of wood, and he has to pull himself back up in the resulting smoke. Giant mechanical weapons, the steel behemoths, are approaching through the fog on long spindly legs and a helmet-like top housing 1 glowing red eye. A soldier runs toward it, stepping on the plank and knocking 5 off balance again. One of the behemoths whir loudly and high-pitched before its middle takes aim and sprays out a stream of bullets. The soldier falls dead in front of 5, who scrambles away. The 3 behemoths cease their fire and instead each launch a missile from their backs. They knock against the ground as 5 flees, but one hits him, launching him forward. The missile lands and opens up, unleashing a hissing green mist, and the flowers growing around it immediately wilt and die. Shielding his face from the fog, a younger 2 steps into view, the top of his fabric head reconstructed with a piece of metal. He spots 5 strewn motionless on the ground with the steel behemoths pushing toward him, their advancing metal feet sure to crush 5 into nothing. 2 rushes for 5, draping the fallen Stitch Punk's arm over his shoulders. When 5 looks up at him, his left eye is missing, and the wires inside spark uselessly. 5 stares at him for a moment, but when the steel behemoth's quaking footsteps draw closer, he snaps into action, pulling 5 to his feet and helping him along. Watching from a rock, 7 launches herself down, tackling 2 and 5 out of the way just before the giant metal foot comes down on them. Our view of everything is choked out by the resulting cloud of dust. Later, we find them, 5, limp and injured, with an arm slung over both 2 and 7. 1 watches as they approach, and when they pass, 7 fixes him with a look of utter disgust and disappointment. They help 5 back under the helmet, and 1 joins them as they continue to move forward, everyone's little feet rushing except for 5's limp pair that are dragged along.
Part of me is very mad at the scientists for not giving any kind of instructions to them when they were born, to say, hey, maybe don't go outside right now.
Dude, that's so true, because with 9, he has the excuse that he died.
Yes.
Yeah.
But all
everybody
of
else is like, I gotta make 8 more of these things. They'll know what to do. No, they won't, dude.
No, yeah.
They're fighting for their life under a fucking helmet they found.
I feel like this is some kind of warning. Like we should,
I'd say
probably
it's
pay attention.
very fair. I did want to say very quickly, this is the only reason I'm not mad at the scientist is because he allowed us to have this really cool sequence that was really beautifully animated right now.
Yeah.
And it was.
I could not believe it's such an interesting way that they're doing the cinematography in this film.
Mm-hmm.
They showed this thing on the featurette where they're all kind of crowded around their computers and they take what begins as a 2D storyboard and they render it into a 3D world. And through it, they're trying to represent what will be the camera angles. And so they're literally setting up cameras in a digital world, making these setups for certain shots and angles that they might want to utilize.
Yeah.
And in it, you see, because it's all grayed out because they haven't fully realized what the world will be yet.
Right.
But they have like a red rectangle of what will literally be our vantage point.
That's so cool.
And it's so wild to think of that especially when you see sequences like this, because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You're seeing things from different angles, from different even characters, and just the way that they craft and frame these shots. It's like they really put in a lot of work in a digital space.
Yeah.
And what they've rendered is fantastic.
Yeah.
It shows, this is great.
Yes.
And this little sequence showed us a lot about a lot of people.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Very, very true.
In the cathedral, one concludes that the gas killed everything. Lighting a match, he takes the credit for leading them here to Sanctuary. And it was here that they waited for the war to end. He says that the world slowly became silent. One wraps an arm around 9's shoulders, pulling him close with his staff as he leads him to a wall. Shining his match against it, he reveals a crude drawing of the cat beast, its eyes wide and its menacing mouth open. He shares that the only thing that remains now is the beast. He lets go of 9 and turns to him, explaining that they stay hidden and wait for it too to sleep. To illustrate this, the flame on the match extinguishes, hissing out into a stream of smoke. 9 doesn't understand where the beast came from. Why is it hunting them? One snaps that questions like that are pointless. They just need to protect themselves and stay out of danger because too many of them have already been lost. He heads to another wall where a ripped section of a February calendar is pinned up, showcasing the numbers 1 through 9. 3, 4 and 7 have been X'd out in black, and 9 uses the charred end of his match to do the same to the number 2.
Jesus.
I know, man. What? I feel like we should know more about what the hell the beast is.
Yes, 100%. Because isn't that the thing? Once you know more about the enemy, it helps you fight the enemy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, that's why you keep that calendar?
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
It's fucking bleak. 9 counters that 2 isn't lost, though. 1 scoffs at him and starts to walk away, but 9 hurries behind, grabbing 1's shoulder and imploring, "Why won't you listen to me?" 1 turns to him, shouting that 2 chose his own path. 9 stares at him in shock, and 1 advises him not to make the same mistake. 5 rushes to 9's side, gripping his shoulders and silencing him, ending the confrontation. 1 turns his back again, ordering 5 to go to the watchtower and to take 9 with him. 5 pulls an indignant but silent 9 away, and 1 crosses the room to take his place on a makeshift throne. I'm like, get a fucking load of this guy. This is crazy.
He's taking number 1 a little too far.
Yeah. Yeah. But I guess he always has, because even earlier we seen him with that other hat that wasn't as big.
Yeah,
Like the
you're
bullet
right.
casing.
That
It's
is
like,
true. It's like, I need something always.
Yeah, it's like, I have to separate myself.
I need to
from
be
them.
differentiated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
and
too
even,
much.
Even when they were out rescuing people, he was behind with his fucking bodyguard.
Yeah.
Those are the fucking stonecutters?
5 does as he's told and leads 9 out of the room, but we stay behind, panning over to find another Stitch Punk, the only one made from black and white striped fabric. 6, played by Crispin Glover, hums to himself as he frantically sketches something on a piece of paper.
Crispin Glover. We watched him bust a move on Friday the 13th, the final chapter in 84. For a sweet move.
Yeah.
They were moved.
So what? I don't know. But
I don't know either, but he knew what he was doing.
yeah, he was
did.
feeling it.
Acker had said that the design of 6 was kind of a nod to Tim Burton and Tim Burton's characters.
Okay.
And you can totally see
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. The stripes, the...
Yeah.
Yeah. But what he's drawn is the talisman. And once he's finished it, he brings it to a wall decorated with similar sketches. 6 pins it up, and the score mounts as we take in the dozens of these that he has already drawn. So you're thinking, when 9 meets 2 and 2's like, he's always drawing this. I thought he was talking about the scientist.
Oh.
Ah.
And so now it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
what is this?
Right.
The sun shines brightly outside as we find 5 and 9 pulling themselves up in a bucket to the shockingly high watchtower. They're up in the clouds when 5 takes his place behind the telescope where he first spotted 9. He shares sadly that this was the first thing they built together. 9 lowers his eyes before proposing. We can still go after him. 5 turns to look at him in disbelief. Us? Gesturing toward the vastness beyond, he says that he could be anywhere out there. But 9 sees the factory out in the distance. He tells 5 that that's where it took him, toward those 3 tall shapes. 5 checks it out with his telescope and counters mournfully that they can't. Not there. They have rules. He hops down from the telescope and busies himself. 9 approaches and asks sincerely, "Why do you listen to 1? 5 answers that a group must have a leader. 9 questions, but what if he's wrong? With no answer, 5 lowers his head. 9 fills the silence. He tells 5 to come with him. He can't do it alone. 5 sighs before telling 9 again that he can't.
It is funny to me that he's just gotten here and he's already challenging the power structure. But yeah, dude, if this is your leader, why is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question that authority.
Well, yeah, especially if we have this. We come to this.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It's like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know.
But I think that sometimes it takes an outsider, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they're so steeped in this shit.
Mhm.
The 5's just like, well, we need a leader. And like,
Yeah.
1's our leader. It's like, but why though?
Yeah.
Like, and take a look around, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And look what he did to you. He fucking abandoned 5.
Yeah.
So 9 asks, wouldn't he have come for you? This hits 5 and he slumps. 9 pats him on the shoulder as he passes to get into the bucket and lower himself. But 5's finger finds the space where his left eye used to be, remembering how if 2 hadn't gone back for him, he wouldn't even be here to make this decision. Before 9 can climb into the bucket, 5 tells him to wait. He pulls down the map he's drawn and rolls it up before stepping in front of 9. And with a small smile, he tells him, we're gonna need a map. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Down in the wasteland below, 5 reasons that he really doesn't mind having one eye. It's easier for him, allowing him to concentrate on just one thing at a time. He and 9 find the site of 2's attack and go silent. 5 stops the errant rolling of a squeaking wheel, and 9 finds 2's dropped weapon. 5 has spotted something else, though, and he rushes for it. It's 2's hat. When he picks it up, the spoon falls backward, detaching from the hat and landing on the ground. 5 is confused and upset. Why was he out here alone? 9 doesn't have an answer to give him, and the 2 press forward as a harsh wind kicks up, swirling dust everywhere. They maneuver through fences of taut wire. 9 raises his voice over the wind, asking where the tunnel is. Consulting the map, 5 admits that he doesn't know. The unforgiving wind rips the map from his grip and it goes flying. 9 and 5 sprint after it, and mercifully, it comes to a stop against a piece of wood jutting up from the ground. But when 9 hurries to seize it, he falls through the weak planks at his feet.
All right, dude. Look, I am on their side 100%.
Yeah.
I commend their mission, but they really should have planned a little better.
Yeah.
Time is of the essence. Sharp splinters wait beneath where he dangles, but 9 is able to pull him from the hole to safety. And this is when the breeze blows the map away and it twists in the wind, lost completely as it flies out of sight. 5 tells 9 that they should go back. They both look in the direction they came, the wind blowing toward them and bringing with it an out of control, blinding dust. 9 points out that they can't. He spots a cave the soldiers dug into the wooden wall, crowned with barbed wire and sandbags. They hurry toward it, but on the way, 5 spots the large and sharp prints of the cat beast leading right to it. They look at the shadowy cave before them, and 5 sighs that it's too dark. When 9 sees a light bulb in the shattered headlights of an old car, he proposes that they could use that. 5 climbs up to get it and brings it to 9. 9 wipes it cleaner against the fabric of his arm, and 5 takes out a battery for it. He holds it in his palm when they bring the bulb down on it, and with the press of his finger, the filament inside begins to glow. 9 chuckles before having an idea. He takes one of the blades from 2's weapon and secures his hat onto it. They secure the bulb onto it, where it glows continuously. 5 smiles sadly that 2 would have been impressed. 9 hands him 2's freed blade and promises that they will find him. He steps into the darkness with his new lit staff, and 5 hurries behind, musing to 9 that he is just like 2. You forget to remember to be scared. But outside, a figure with the shadow of a pointed bird and a hooked beak finds the map blown against a piece of wood. They look beyond it, into the cave that 9 and 5 have disappeared into.
Well, it seems there's a lot to fear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was just so sweet and sincere.
Yeah.
You forget to remember to be scared.
Well, he's trying to get answers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9 wants to know what's going on. Yeah, he hasn't been here long, but even him meeting 1 and seeing what's going on, he's like, look, this isn't going to work. We've got to do something. Like, this is not okay.
And I will say that is as much of a compliment as it is a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's like, you're really courageous, but come on.
Let's think for 2 seconds. On the other side of the cave, 5 and 9 find one of the entrances to the factory. They pause outside, staring up in fear at its height. 5 asks sweetly, "Can I wait here?" But when 9 enters the building, 5 is right with him.
He doesn't forget.
Yeah. They pass under hanging, constructed, but lifeless steel behemoths and pass through rows of artillery before coming to a long, dark corridor. So as scary as this factory may have been, it's even scarier for real.
Yeah.
They pause at its entrance, exchanging a look when a low growling emanates from below. 9 twists the bulb, killing the light before they enter. Pushing past their fear, they pass through it to find a room on the other side, the far wall blown open and the sunshine coming through. A bird cage is illuminated in the center of the rubble, and it's there that they spot him. It's 2 slumped inside. Gasping, they climb the ruins up to their friend, but he doesn't respond when 5 calls his name. He reaches through the bars of the cage and shakes his friend's shoulder. When 2 still doesn't respond, 5's head droops in his heartbreak. But finally, 2 opens his eyes. He turns to see 5 with a smile, breathing that he knew he would come.
It's very sweet.
Yes.
But pull him out.
Yeah.
But hurry up.
Yeah, he's made of sack. It's not like you just get him out here.
That I was
squeeze through.
I was thinking that too. I know we had talked. I don't know if it was off mic about them having to eat or whatever.
Yeah.
But it is like, why did it take you so long to wake up?
I
Like,
don't
what
know.
the hell happened?
He was being dramatic.
Yeah, because it's like, are you exhausted? Are you
Yeah.
haven't had water? Do you need it? Like,
Yeah. What the hell?
I don't know.
He's just like, I wanted to see if you'd really be sad if I was dead.
Well, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get up. When 5 starts to speak, 2 shushes him. He points up to the cat beast, who is growling and unearthing something in a pile of rubble. It seems as though he's found a place for the talisman to go. But just before he places the talisman into the recess, he hears 9 and 5 trying to pry the bars of the birdcage open. So I guess he can't squeeze through.
I guess.
The cat beast advances on them, one eye glowing red and the other a flashlight that levels right at them.
How is that fair?
I know. What the fuck?
It does feel like cheating.
Yeah, I didn't know he had that.
He pounces toward the stitch punks, flinging the cage and 2 inside of it out of the way. 2 screams as he flies out of sight, but 9 takes the cat beast's attention, thrusting the lit bulb at him. The cat beast flinches back before swiping at 9 and knocking him down as well. 5 is able to free 2 from the destroyed cage, and the 3 of them stand together in fear of the advancing giant cat. But just when things start to look grim, another stitch punk flies in from nowhere, jumping onto the back of the beast, and after the briefest struggle, chopping its head off. The stitch punk hops down, triumphant, adorning a bird-shaped mask, and it's only when the mask is raised that 2 and 5 recognize her. It's 7.
To the rescue.
Yeah.
To the rescue, and presumed dead because
Yeah.
one had X'd her out from
Oh, that's
the little
right.
thing.
Well, maybe he was like, she's dead to me.
Yeah.
I will say that's pretty cool because that's what we saw watching them.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
right.
it was
yeah.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I was like afraid for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grateful and gleeful, 5 rushes to her and wraps his arms around her in a tight hug. Stiff at first, 7 relaxes into it. When 5 cries out that she came back, she counters that she never left. Returning his rolled up map to him, she adds that 5 just decided to join the fight. She looks past him at 9, who hands over her armband that fell off in the struggle. She takes it and slides it onto her arm, wondering where 9's been hiding. Before he can answer, their attention is drawn to 2, who is muttering over the corpse of his faux feline captor. He calls it a rusty, hacked-together, shoddy pile of... He kicks the bones of its skull, but only succeeds in hurting his own foot. He bounces on his uninjured foot, cradling the hurt one as he and 5 chuckle. 9 is smiling, but when he hears a high-pitched metallic droning, he turns to find the talisman.
I did want to say it seems like the way that he's kind of chuckling, and maybe he's got like hearts in his eyes. I feel like 9 might have a crush on 7.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I have heard that 6 is afraid of 7, and I just I don't know why. I think she's great.
He eyes where the cat beast was going to insert the talisman, a spot clearly designed for it. Hold on.
Dude, maybe ask.
Hold on.
Is it cool? Is it cool if I do this?
Does anybody object to what I'm about to do? The score mounts as 9 approaches with the talisman. Just as he slides it into place, 2 notices him. He calls out for 9 to wait, but it's too late. The symbols on the talisman begin to glow green. 2 tries to pull it free, reasoning that they don't know what it is. But a blast of green light shoots out at 2, launching him backwards into 9's arms. Electricity crackles within the talisman, and 2 pushes 9 out of the way to protect him. The bolts find 2 instead, entering through his eyes and mouth, rising him from his feet and pulling him toward the talisman, a bright white light glowing within him. The rest of the Stitch punks watch in fear, and when the talisman is done, the electricity stops, and 2 falls to the ground, smoking and lifeless.
I didn't do it.
This was such a fucking turn of events.
Yeah.
We were just celebrating.
Yeah, we just got him back.
We just got him back.
Yeah.
5, they're reunited. It's and now 2's dead.
Yeah, well,
Because you had to what these buttons do. Are you fucking for real?
He didn't know.
Yeah.
And that goes there.
Wait.
Well, but the cat took it and nothing happened.
The cat was finding where to put it. And then when he was about to put...
No. I'm saying he seen the at put it on his collar and nothing happened.
Ah.
So, I
True.
mean, he doesn't know.
Obviously, he didn't know.
No.
This isn't 9's fault. It was just a foolish thing to do.
It
When
was.
Oh my God,
when
yeah.
everyone here, every single person here knows what's going on more than you do.
Yeah.
You should have...
He was trying to
Showed-
show initiative, I think.
Yeah.
He was...
Because I feel like he wants one spot.
Well, somebody should do
That-
it.
I'm the
somebody.
leader. But, man, it just... Why would you think, I'm going to do what that cat was about to do?
Yeah, he's clearly on our
The
side.
cat wasn't on your team. It's just so upsetting. 5 races for his fallen friend, crying out his name in a sob. But the talisman isn't finished. The green shifts to crimson when a giant light above is activated, bathing the Stitch punks in its red glow and technically making 9, 2009, a Giallo film.
Oh.
Great job, Patreon. Another one. I know
Yeah.
I said we needed to back off a little bit, but I'll make an exception for this one because it's salient. It's topical.
I'm just going to say 9, but the German one.
We pan upward where machinery starts to cling to life. Something begins to rise from the rubble and the Stitch punks flee for their lives as 2 sinks down, his lifeless body lost below. 9, 7, and 5 sprint away as machinery raises a red flag with that same design that we saw in the rubble. The design that made us not feel good.
Right.
They stop themselves just before falling off of an abrupt edge into a chasm below, and they look up as the source of the red light is revealed. The fabrication machine has awoken, the giant red light sitting in the middle of its metal triangular frame, with myriad spindly arms reaching out, all adorned with clawed hands.
Now we see the extent of the mistake.
Yeah. And it's a
Yeah.
big fucking mistake. Acker had said that all of the kind of like, in my mind, they're boss fights.
Yeah.
But all of the big bads were kind of had mythical inspiration behind them. And an inspiration for the fabrication machine was the Cyclops.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
With shaking hands, 5 reaches to his back and tries to arm a makeshift grapple gun. 7 thinks fast, grabbing his arm and guiding it as he fires the hook so that it lands on a high metal ledge. 9 and 7 grab onto 5 as they swing to the other side of the chasm. But the ledge was a lever, and their slight weight pulls on it, causing a green light to go as a switch is flipped. The Stitch Punks are launched apart as machinery is activated. Apart from each other, not like... No, they're not killed. That sounded crazy.
Yeah.
7 dangles from a jutting point above as the conveyor belt beneath 9 and 5's feet begins to move. They race along it, dodging incoming dangers before 5 finally pushes 9 out of the way to save him at the last moment. He falls, both him and his bulb staff landing hard. 7 tries to pull herself up as the fabrication machine's huge red eye falls on her. She turns and gasps, glowing red in its light as it begins to spark. When 9 reaches up his staff and the bulb lights, the fabrication machine turns to look at him instead. 5 rushes over to save him, hurrying him away as the bulb goes dark again. They sprint into a small hole in the wall, but crackling with electricity again, the fabrication machine lowers its red eye to the hole and blasts. When the dust settles, we find 5 and 9 cowering and holding each other behind a fallen gear. The fabrication machine leans in close, inspecting them, reaching out a clawed hand toward the gear. But its attention is drawn at the last second upwards to grinding gears where something is revolving in a circle. The fabrication machine swats at it and it goes flying. Back on the ground, 7 drops into view, wondering, what are you waiting for? When she runs away, 9 and 5 follow as she pleads with them to come on. The fabrication machine spots them immediately and reaches for them as they disappear into a slanted pipe. It barely misses 5, but when the Stitch Punks are out of reach, the fabrication machine begins to attack the pipe instead, causing the walls to crunch in on them. But somehow, they're able to run up the sloped pipe to the hole of light in the distance. The fabrication machine watches this angrily with its giant red eye. It begins to crackle with electricity. This was a lot, Robin.
Yeah.
And again, just this switch from rejoicing to
Yeah.
what we have just experienced.
Whiplash.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
9, 7, and 5 finally make it back outside, and with 7's direction, they're able to hide behind debris. Safe now, 5 crumples, sobbing, declaring that he knew they shouldn't have come. He asks 9, gripping his shoulders, "Why would you do that?" 9 apologizes. He didn't know. He's sorry. 5 pants, and when 9 apologizes sincerely again, 5 loosens his grip. But 7 can't help but ask, "What were you thinking?"
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ.
It's like, well, I wasn't.
No, that was what it
Yeah,
was.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Clearly.
I completely spaced. And none of this is going to bring 2 back.
Yeah,
So-
no,
We need to move forward. You wouldn't want us to dwell on
No.
this. Behind them, there's a rumbling within the factory, and an explosion booms out of one of its high columns. 5 asks fearfully, "What is it going to do?" Pulling down her mask again, 7 shares that she knows where they can find answers. When she takes off, 5 and 9 follow. But back at the factory, the machinery is grinding and whirring, and smoke pours from the chimneys. The fabrication machine is busy at work, picking through the pieces of metal and bone, sawing them away and welding them together to suit its needs. Finally, it steps back to admire its handiwork as something sharp and metal rises up, whirring to life. It cuts to black.
So you've been making these things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what you mean by fabrication?
And that's what I mean by fabrication.
Man.
And all those steel behemoths were in there too.
Yeah.
So
That makes it worse because if this thing was asleep and that cat, we don't know, but if that cat thing is like the last of it,
Yeah.
we fucked up. That's even worse.
He's like, I need a friend.
yeah.
How the fuck do you work this thing?
Man, that sucks.
Yeah,
that
that's terrible.
9
Yeah.
really fucked up.
He
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
He fucked up real bad.
So now that we've seen quite a few different environments,
Mhm.
I really think that one of the strengths of this film is their ability to differentiate things. because not only with the characters, but all these different locations that we visit have a different feel to them, despite the fact that they're occupying the same destroyed universe.
Right.
And a lot of times when you watch films that take place in apocalyptic wastelands, it's a lot of drab, a lot of gray, a lot of things just bleeding together and not really sticking out or being different at all, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
There was this interview with Christophe Vacher, who was the art director for the film, on one of those featurettes, and he had said that this was something that they really thought deeply about to try to make this world a little richer. And even though they relied on a pretty narrow color palette throughout, which they said were mostly just earth tones, which is really unconventional for an animated feature.
Yeah.
They were still able to craft these worlds where you feel a difference in them depending on where you are. They talked about the ruined city that we start in, and somehow through use of dynamic lighting, we have this place that feels dark and ghostly and cold, which could dominate the entire world that we have, but it doesn't, because whenever we go to different places, like that cathedral, you feel the lights through the windows, almost this like majestic feeling.
Right.
Then we get to this factory where we have yellow in the sky, and it feels like grim and foreboding.
Yeah.
And then later, whenever we are more in the clouds, it feels much cleaner. And there is a vibrant color through the clouds and these pinks. And
that's true.
so it's just really impressive to me. And they had said also, whenever we have these earth tones that we're dealing with so much, like we are in the ground in this factory, it allows the reds of the cat's eye to pop more.
Yeah.
Or these really vibrant greens of this soul-sucking machine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just really impressive work, because it very, like, too easily could have been monotone.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
could've.
As one does in the quest of knowledge, 7 leads 9 and 5 to a library. It is abandoned with the doors wide open, and the trio traverse a mound of books to climb inside. 9 stares at a dropped painting in awe. He turns on his bulb to get a better look. Though the painting has crumpled, the beauty of its picturesque scene is still visible. Lush green grass, a calm pale blue sky, trees bearing colorful leaves, and a bright, hopeful town in the distance. Amazed, 9 asks 5, "Is this what it was like?" But when 7's voice echoes over to them, telling them again to keep up, they abandon the painting and follow her. And again, and maybe this is me, like, you know, being too extra, reading too much into it, but I'm like, this seems like very grim, possible, unfortunate foreshadowing of like generations to come.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where it was like, was there really grass?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me of The Simpsons, the future episode with Lisa, where it's like this, it was a hologram in memory of a real tree. It's like, dude, it's fucking, can we just stop?
Yeah.
Like, please. 7 stands very small beneath a propped open scrapbook. When 5 and 7 join her, their collective eyes are drawn to the high cracked dome of the ceiling. A piece of paper peels from a page of the book, and fresh glue drips from a knocked over bottle. Suddenly, 2 more Stitch punks peek out from behind a container, housing a preserved duo of entwined hissing snakes. These Stitch punks, 3 and 4, smile, their faces shadowed by blue hoods. 5 rushes to them with a gasp, embracing them. He realizes they've been here the whole time? 9 smiles. Twins! 7 reveals that they've been hiding here, lost in the past, looking for answers.
And once again, 1 said you were dead.
Yeah, they were crossed out as well.
Yeah, so that makes me wonder what's the story there.
Yeah.
So then you guys were all together. I know we seen them then, but afterwards what happened?
It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Very good.
I will say something that like is revealed later on. Maybe that happened more than once. We can talk about it when we get there, but it's diabolical.
Huh.
I also thought it was cute because I read in an interview with Acker that he said that they had twins working on storyboards, and they gave the sequences with 3 and 4 to the twins to work on.
That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
really cute. The twins rush to 9, inspecting every inch of him with excitement, their eyes shuddering wildly like cameras. 5 chuckles as he watches this, and 7 explains that they're cataloging. Suddenly, 4 grabs 9's zipper and pulls it down. The twins look inside, curious, but 3 notices and snatches the glowing bulb from the end of 9's staff. 3 carries it away as the light dies and examines it closely with 4, their eyes continuing to shudder. 7 finally tells the twins that they need their help. They've awakened something. But 9 interrupts, taking the blame. He awakened something terrible. The twins exchange a glance and seem to communicate with their flashing eyes. They return the bulb to 9's staff and hurry to the scrapbook. As they turn pages, 9 spots what terrorized them and murdered too. In black and white on the article pasted to the page, the fabrication machine is still menacing beneath the headline, "The Machine." The twins tug on a rope, and silently, everyone jumps onto a lift. Once the twins activate it, the piece of metal glides high, bringing them past shelves stuffed with books. Once they reach their destination, they hop off onto a wooden shelf decorated with military medals and commendations. It's here that the twins present a newspaper. The headline reads, "Amazing New Invention. Glorious Leader Promises Progress Through Technology." In the black and white picture beneath, a younger version of the scientist stands uneasily next to the fabrication machine. On the other side of the machine is another man, his military uniform pristine, his posture perfect, and his face stern. The caption reads, "Lead Scientist Creates Brain." 9 looks at this before meeting 4's gaze, and abruptly, 4 turns to the wall with glowing eyes, projecting a black and white film reel. We see that man, the Chancellor, standing in his uniform in the back of a car, waving. A radio announcer, also played by Fred Tatasciore, informs us that today, the Chancellor presented the latest advancement of technological wizardry to the public. The Chancellor stands behind a podium, his face illuminated in the quick flashes of cameras, as he raises his hand to show the spectators what they came to see. It cuts to the fabrication machine, and the Chancellor, credited as the dictator and played by Tom Kane, intones, "Comrades, today dawns a new era. Let us praise this new technology. Welcome to the age of the machine." The fabrication machine sparks as its pieces settle into place, and it rises high, flanked on either side by flags.
Tom Kane, he was mentioned when we covered H2O because he was Dr. Loomis's voice.
That's right.
Yeah. So he was in 16 episodes of Archer from 2011 to 2020. He was Yoda in Star Wars The Clone Wars, 132 episodes from 2008 to 2020. I've heard nothing but good things about Clone Wars. And also, man, I was like, oh shit, this man is the professor from the Powerpuff Girls, the original and the returning series.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. 9 continues to watch in horror, but the video isn't done. The Chancellor boasts that the machine will create new machines in its own image. And we see this, the fabrication machine snatching up pieces of metal and constructing them together. As duplicate machines are assembled in multiple rows, the Chancellor calls them machines of peace that will usher in a glorious new era of wealth and prosperity for the state. Even as he speaks, we see one of the machines level its gun at the camera. A newspaper is slapped in front of us, the bold headline simple and horrifying. War declared. Armed troops march alongside these supposed machines of peace, and we are treated to blurry images of war, ending in pictures of the machines still standing tall with no men beside them. Another newspaper takes over the machine. Machines turn against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We're lucky we got to print that first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No shit.
I just want to say.
And another, scientist, enemy of the state. Chancellor denounces machine inventor. The scientist stands forlorn in front of his creation in one picture, and in another, the chancellor looks angry and is quoted beneath, "Traitor has led us astray." We see a still of a man crying out with his fist pumped in the air and the other hand wrapped around a lit Molotov cocktail. He stands in front of a flyer that pleads, "Revolt." The chancellor's voice returns, asserting that science has turned against us. The machines are gunning down civilians in the street in rotating pictures as he repeats that science has turned its sinister hands against us. He pleads with the people of his mighty state to join him in repelling the iron fist of the machine. We pan over the devastation, the ruins that the Stitch punks have seen firsthand. And finally, the film ends. That was devastating and horrifying.
Yeah.
It's a documentary.
Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah. And how can you say sinister science? Fool, you did that.
He
Yeah.
jumped ship.
Fuck are you talking about?
He jumped ship. Because the scientists didn't even look happy to be doing it.
No.
You know what I mean? And now it's like, you led us astray.
Yeah.
No.
Well, his approval is sinking, and so he needs
Yeah,
to...
that's right. Yeah. Kind of like when you do something just to do it and then you don't know, then the consequences bite you in the ass.
Mhm.
And then you can
wanna
be like,
pull
that
out, but you
wasn't
can't.
me.
Yeah.
I
And,
didn't
you
do
know,
that.
Yeah.
And then rather than suffer the consequences or, own up to your mistakes, you just...
Yeah.
You didn't see me, but I pushed
You
it.
push it to the
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
Or you just stay up all night posting AI images on the internet.
Yeah, why haven't we stopped that?
I
Like, who
know.
the fuck?
I know.
Why is nobody taking control?
I don't know. You know what? Yeah. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
9 presses a hand against his head, and 7 and 5 stare, all of their faces slack with shock. 9 says that the thing that woke it was round and imprinted with strange shapes. The twins contemplate this, look at each other, then turn to 9 with mirrored shrugs. 9 snatches up an ink pen, wielding it with both hands as he carries it over to a wall and starts to sketch out what he saw there. He makes a representation of the talisman, sketching out the symbols. 5 recognizes it immediately. That's what 6 always draws. 9 is confused. 6? But 5 adds that 2 collected his drawings and he was always studying them. 9 thinks this over for a moment before deciding, I have to see them. 7 balks at this. He's thinking about going back to 1 so he can lock them away while this nightmare awakens. She knocks her mask back over her face decisively. Never. Without another word, 7 sprints over to the platform they rose on, jumps down to the library below, and bounces out of sight. 9 stares after her contemplatively.
Can we at least talk about it?
No.
Jeez.
Yeah, we didn't decide.
She makes the most elaborate escape ever.
Yeah.
That's how strongly she feels about it. We cut to 9 and 5 crossing the wasteland back to the cathedral. Once they get inside, 5 begins to rummage through items until he finds one of 6's drawings. He sets it on a table, and he and 9 peer at it through the darkness. Just as 9 twists the bulb at the end of his staff and it illuminates, 8 is revealed, large and hulking, standing behind them. He snatches each of them up with his big hands as he chuckles.
They didn't hear his buff ass.
I know. Come on.
They're not built for this, man.
No, they're not. 9 and 5 stand in front of 1 in the throne room. He is incensed at what they've awakened. He calls them fools, reminding him that he told them. Sharpening his knife, 8 agrees that he did warn them. 1 accuses them of putting them all in unimaginable peril. He wonders, did they even manage to save 2? Of course not. And now they've endangered everything that they've worked for. It's like, dude, that was
tough.
too deep.
Yeah.
I did wonder how much time had passed and if they told 1 exactly what happened. It's like, will you cut 9 some slack, please?
9 questions why 2 was sent out to begin with. 1 says that he sent 2 out to scout. But 9 counters that doesn't make any sense. You don't send the oldest. Trying to reason with 1, he says that they need to figure out what's going on. 6 steps out of the shadows, knocking over his inkwell and drawing everyone's attention. He stumbles forward, clutching one of his sketches of the talisman in both hands as he walks toward them, droning, "The source, the source." He stands right in front of 9, raising the drawing in his face before lowering it and telling him sincerely, "Go back to the source." He stands and watches, his striped body smeared with ink, as 9 takes the drawing and presents it to 1. He tells him that this is it. This is what awakened the machine. 1 narrows his eyes at 9, but he doesn't speak. 9 turns back to 6 and asks what he knows about this. 6's lips twitch up into a smile, but before he can speak, 1 slams the end of his cane into the ground, startling everyone, even 8, who scrapes his blade loudly against the sharpener. 1 declares suddenly that they can't be trusted, and he won't allow them to endanger them any further. 8 steps up behind him, and 1 gives his order, "Subjugate them." 8 doesn't understand. He questions, "Sub..." 1 just shakes his head, calling 8 an illiterate cretin before giving his order. "Take their belongings." Then this is your man.
Yeah. And why are you getting so mad every time we ask a question?
Great
that
question.
Like every time.
He has a tendency to interrupt before a question can be answered with declaratives of like, "No, that's enough. No, we're leaving. No, take their shit," or whatever.
Yeah.
He's very scared.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go all Sidney Prescott on me with the cretin.
Cretin is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
This order, 8 understands. He stomps over to 9 and snatches 6's sketch out of his hands. When he goes to grab 5, 9 tries to stop him. 8 flings him off effortlessly, nearly knocking 9 into a hole that leads all the way down to the bottom of the cathedral. He's able to stop himself at the ledge, but when a chess piece falls, flipping end over end as it makes its descent, 9 lets out a shaky sigh. Getting to his feet, he tells 1 that he's nothing but a coward. At this insult, 8 drops 5 and steps toward 9, smirking and cracking his knuckles.
He's like, "I'm going to enjoy this." It's like, what? Jesus, dude, why aren't we on the same side?
And how do you have knuckles?
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Man, the scientist was cooking when he made this
Yeah.
thing.
Dude, that's crazy.
It's like, and he can throw a punch. Gotta make sure he can do that.
We gotta make sure he can be scary before it. 9 is ready for the fight, but 8 is surprised when 1 steps between them, asserting, "How dare you challenge me? He is the one that kept everyone safe all these years." Ever since 9 got here, it's all been unraveling. He says that 9 is a curse, a fool, guided by pointless queries. 9 gives it right back, countering, "And you are a blind man, guided by fear." He holds up his own staff, but they both look up to the stained glass window when a flying shadow goes past it.
He made a fucking drone. That's still current.
God damn it.
And look, 1 is a piece of shit. Like, we can all agree. But he does have a lot of ammunition right now.
Yeah.
With the chain of events. Cowering and stepping back, 1 offers that sometimes fear is the appropriate response. Just then, the thing that flew by comes charging right toward the clock window with flapping wings. The thing crashes through, landing hard on the floor and hitting their fire, knocking it over and causing the flames to spread. The assailant stands, a mechanical bird, its sharp face the whirring piece that we saw the fabrication machine constructing. 5, 6, 8, and 9 are gathered together as the winged beast stands, its fabric wings fluttering as it sinks a metal claw into the wooden floor. So the winged beast, when I had said earlier about the mythology kind of inspiration, is a dragon, inspired by a dragon.
Okay.
Oh.
And for the animation, they studied the movement of eagles.
All right.
It's pretty fantastic work.
Uh-huh. The beast's attention is drawn to 1, who stands alone in a corner. Once it skulks toward him, 8 snaps into action, crying out as he races for the creature. The flames spread behind him as 8 swings his giant blade, hitting the winged beast in the head. But undeterred, the beast bats him away. 1 unveils a secret hole in the wall and beckons 8 to follow him. He's like, "We're getting the fuck out of here." They run for freedom, and 5, 6, and 9 run in the opposite direction to the bucket they use for a lift. 5 and 6 make it on, but 9 is knocked down. He tells them to go, and as the other descend on the lift, 9 leaps for his life, jumping from the ledge, grabbing onto the rope and riding it down until he lands with a thud in the bucket. The winged beast brings its sharp face together and snips at the rope, causing the bucket to plummet. 9 is knocked onto a floor higher than the one 5 and 6 land on, but he calls down at them to keep going and he'll find a way down. 9 runs out of a window and hurries onto a ledge set into a stone gargoyle's back. Above him, the winged beast explodes from the window, raining down glass. 9 looks up at this before spotting 1 and 8 sprinting across a roof below. When 1 nearly falls, 8 stops running. He looks up to the sky where the winged beast has taken notice and is swooping down on them. 8 knocks a helmet onto his face and reaches for the quiver on his back, which houses half of a pair of scissors. He grabs the handle and flings the scissor piece just in time, landing it home in the spinning fan propelling the beast and jamming it. The winged beast screeches as it falls onto the roof, scooping 8 up as it skids. When it falls off, 8 does too, barely able to grab a ledge before he plummets, but losing his knife in the process. 9 jumps over and pulls 1 up from the ledge he dangles from, but before they can do anything for 8, the winged beast circles back, aiming a spear. 9 peels up a piece of shingle from the roof, the shiny underside blinding the creature. Still, it fires, the spear hitting 8 on the metal of his back before burying its point into the side of the building, trailing its rope back to the winged beast. 8 lets go, letting the rope lessen his fall as he lands with 5 and 6. The winged beast screeches, the rope pulling taut as it launches into the air. When it's pulled tight, it falls, knocking both itself and 1 and 9 down below where 5 and 6 and 8 are. Is everybody?
Yeah.
Everybody here?
Yeah.
All the numbers are accounted for.
8 intercepts them before they land on the back of the crashed plane in the cathedral's roof. He grabs up his fallen sword and stands, ready. The creature pulls its spear back in and stomps toward them menacingly on its metal claws, and although 8 stands bravely in front of 1 and 9, he is afraid. But just then, here to save the day again is 7, sprinting across the rooftop toward them. 1 stares up at her in shock as 7 takes flight, raising her weapon as she soars, silhouetted against the bright sun. He's like, I fucking told them you were dead. As soon as she comes down, she's swatted away by the beast, sliding across the floor and hitting the wall where the others cower with a resounding thud. She lifts up her mask, undeterred, muttering, "Let me try that again." She starts to rush toward the winged beast, but it immediately spears her through her cloth leg with a threaded needle. 9 rushes to her aid, pulling her back as he implores 8 to cut the cable. 8 snaps into action, severing the cable with the swing of his sword. It whips back and wraps around the propellers of the crashed plane in the roof. The beast is pulled toward it by the rope, and the plane shifts. But 9 is able to stab his staff into the metal and hang on. When 1 begins to slide, 9 grabs 1's staff and catches him with it. 1 cries out as the winged beast tries to claw his way up to him.
Dude, I'd be like, long live me. Fucking drop. Like, I'm sorry. This is chaotic. We're fighting a mechanical bird right now.
No one will know.
No. 1 slipped. Or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So say something.
Yeah.
Are you fake crying?
Yeah. And he said he saw something in me or something.
He tried to give me his crown.
Yeah.
The winged beast still inches forward, revealing 5 and 6 cowering in front of a spool of wires. Thinking quickly, he instructs 6 to grab the wires, and they slide down 1, plunging the sparking end into the wire wrapped around the spool. This causes the plane to start up, its propellers spinning and yanking the bird beast back. It takes 1 more desperate lunge at 1, gripping his red cape in its metal beak. The plane struggles to keep its power, and the staff begins to slip from 9's grip as the bird keeps pulling. 9 screams out, "Your cape!" One looks up at him, his eyes wide, and when 9 tells him to let it go, he closes them tight, asserting that he can't.
Come on.
I know.
Drop
Yeah,
him.
that's
Drop
it.
him. 9 tells him to do it now. The winged beast raises its horrible claw, and just as it brings it down on one unclips his cape. He grabs onto 9, holding him tight as the bird falls back, directly into the spinning propellers, which chop it into flying bits before slowing to a stop. 9 allows himself a small chuckle, but one looks up at him, unamused. He scoffs that 9 owes him a cape before coldly climbing up 9's body to safety.
I hope everyone else saw that. That's all. The only thing I could think. Because there's no way. That's unbelievable.
Well, him saving him?
No, him fucking
saying no? Yeah. But I'm saying you hope everybody's seen him get saved?
Well, I mean, that too. I'm really angling against one for the next election or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to look really good for you. 9 continues to dangle with a sigh before a small smile crosses his lips.
This was really cool. I know it came after, but the look of the bird and all that, this really reminds me of Horizon Zero Dawn. And even 7, the way she is, Aloy in that game, you use bones and metal and stuff for your armor.
Oh, wow.
Like it is,
Yeah.
they're thinking about, I think that was 2017 or 16 or something, and I know this was before, but the look and the feel of the bird really does take me to that game.
Maybe there was some inspiration there.
Maybe, but this was cool. Like, this was really cool.
Yeah, there was a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's nighttime when 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 leave the burning cathedral. 1 stops and looks back at their sanctuary with grief. When 8 comes back to pat his shoulder consolingly, 1 finally continues with the rest of the group. Embers rain down outside of the library, and as the rest of the Stitch Punks head toward the front door, 6 stays behind, prancing as he tries to grab a smoldering ember out of the air. He succeeds, but is dismayed when he opens his clasped hands and finds that nothing's there. But high above, a small hot air balloon-like flying machine hovers high above. And I already said high above. It's very high above.
It's watching them.
It's high above sandwich.
You were just really surprised.
I was like, whoa.
That's really high.
And what the fuck even is that? We follow it to the factory, where it returns the metal head of the winged beast to the fabrication machine. It drops the pointed head into the machine's waiting claws, and as soon as the fabrication machine registers what it's holding, its eyes light up with electricity. It drops the pointed head into the machine's waiting claws, and as soon as the fabrication machine realizes what it's holding, it lights up with electricity, clearly incensed. Among the rubble, it uses its giant red eye to spot 2's limp body. It picks 2 up with a metal hand and brings it closer for inspection, the falling Stitch Punk's lifeless body dangling in its grip. This is not going to be good.
No.
So seeing this, I was trying to understand, because this is the fabrication machine. It was the thing that took the soul of 2. So I was like, does he, like, is his soul or essence like still in there and he recognizes his shell?
Oh, I didn't
okay.
even think of that.
Yeah.
But I just wasn't sure.
I think the soul, well, I don't know.
But I guess it's something more nefarious.
It's something terrible.
Yeah.
At the library, the team regroups. 9 helps 7 sit on the edge of a book, and 5 gets to work, pulling out a threaded needle to tend to her injured leg. 9 steps away to look up at the glowing moon through the broken ceiling. As 5 stitches 7 up, 9 wonders, there will be more, won't there? 9 affirms this with a quiet but certain nod. But 1 scoffs, pulling their attention. He declares that it's not safe here. He tells 8 to keep lookout. Six is hunched over on the floor, scribbling another sketch of the talisman. On his way out the door, 8 steps on Six's drawing and grinds his foot in, chuckling menacingly as he departs.
I know why.
He's a
What the
dick,
fuck?
dude. It's fucking Rick James.
Yeah.
So unnecessary. One volunteers to search for a safer retreat before walking away. Dutiful as always, 8 steps out the front doors and takes a sweeping look across the courtyard, the bare yearning branches of barren trees and the tall statues illuminated by the moonlight in the darkness. 8 settles in, taking a seat in the open falling hand of a statue. He takes a magnet off of his back and with a smile hovers it above his head. His eyes dilate and grow staticky, and 8 grins wider, letting out a satisfied woo. But when he hears something moving in the distance, he stops.
So he's getting high?
Yeah.
It's so funny to me that they're like fucking ragdoll people that have barely been around, but like the first things first.
We need
Yeah.
vices.
Yeah, we need to figure out.
You gotta escape.
Yeah.
Have you seen it out here, dude?
It's not like Bender. He needs alcohol.
Yeah.
This is something else entirely.
Yeah.
And you're not sharing with anybody else?
No.
Wait until he
no.
was alone. But when he hears something moving in the distance, he stops. But he only stops for a brief moment before hovering the magnet over his head once again. Inside, 3 and 4 project a drawing of the talisman onto the wall. When 6 sees this, he gasps, gathers up his own drawing and follows them. His repair of 7's leg finished, 5 helps her to her feet. They all gather in front of a giant book as the twins open it. Beneath statements written in another language, there is a drawing of a mustached man peering through something that looks strikingly like the talisman. And on the other side of the talisman, a small humanoid creature stands in a burst of light. It looks a lot like them.
Yeah.
And 9 sighs in amazement. 6 pushes his own drawing on the opposite page over a depiction of the talisman. When 9 asks again what it is, 6 answers simply, the source. 9 steps towards 6 urgently, startling him. He declares that that's what woke the machine. 6 stammers, telling 9 to go back. 9 doesn't understand. Back to what? But it's not 6 that answers, but 1 who looms in the doorway. Bad science.
I'm just done with this dude.
He steps toward 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9 with a sneer. He asks, what good does this useless rubbish do us? He demands that they forget it. 9 is positive that 1 knows something. When he asks what it is, 1 isn't exactly forthcoming. He knows enough to leave their ancient evils to molder. He implores them to just look at what they were left with, and he asserts that they need to leave it be. But 9 is always asking questions. So many pointless questions. He's always probing and pushing, like 2. 2 always had to know too much.
That's appropriate.
Yeah.
He rips the middle out of the page in the book and clenches it in his small fist. 9 is certain now that he was right. 1 did send 2 out to die. And 1's like, he was old. He was weak. 5 gasps, shocked and horrified, and 7's mouth clamps shut. 1 reasons that sometimes 1 must be sacrificed for the good of many.
If there were any redeeming qualities that we hoped to find in 1, I think that it's just a lost cause now.
Yeah.
And I would be very careful about the way that you word things. 1 must be sacrificed. I understand because we are setting something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, Jesus.
But it also kind of reminds me of, I think it was, A Bug's Life, when he's like, it's for the good of the colony.
Yes,
It's like,
yes.
dude, really?
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Terrifying. And the fact that he's not even trying to hide it anymore.
No.
You sent him out to die. Well, yeah. He was nosing around. He was old. He was weak. It's
He
like,
was old.
Yeah,
You're 1.
I was going to say, you're the first, dude.
You're the old dad.
What?
7 leaps forward with a cry, calling 1 a coward. She pushes him against the book, her blade to his throat. 3 and 4 gather together behind 5, and 9 yells out for 7, but she holds her stance for a moment longer before finally letting 1 go. She flees from the room without a word, and 1's fear is replaced once again by his smugness. Narrowing his eyes, he declares that 9's path takes them to catastrophe. As he strides away, 9 looks over at his remaining friends, the twins cowering behind 5 and 6 still clutching his drawing in front of him. 9 repeats what 6 told him with certainty. They have to go back. 5 doesn't understand what that means, so 9 explains. They have to go back to the first room where he woke. Outside, 8 is still jacking on or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing. When he hears something clatter. Finally, he abandons his vice and goes to investigate, armed with his sword. He passes through the courtyard, looking up at the towering statues. The score is dark as we watch something pass by out of 8's field of vision. He looks around, terrified, and it's only when it's right in front of him that he sees it. Afraid, 8 lowers his sword, and we are watching from over this new creature's shoulder as it rises high, its eyes shuddering so fast and severely that 8 is mesmerized.
I think we're in trouble, guys.
I think we're in big trouble. And that fabrication machine works quick.
Yeah.
It's OP.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
It's not fair.
I will say I loved the way this outside looked.
Mm-hmm.
Him sitting in the hand, him getting up, going through the courtyard, the statues that are all broken apart, the outside. I was like, damn, this is pretty scary for what's going on.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I will say I had hoped that he was just doped out of his gourd and none of this was happening. But
Yeah.
You're like, how high do these magnets get?
seriously, I don't know. Fucking magnets, right?
How
do they work?
Back inside, 1 is stomping off alone, muttering that 9's way only brings trouble. No good comes from this path. He declares again that he knows what they need. He knows what's right. But when he hears something skittering in the distance, he looks around with a gasp, realizing just how truly alone he is. He turns in time to see a Stitch punk coming out of the shadows, gliding toward him, but slumped forward. The moonlight reflecting off the metal in his head reveals that this is 2 coming toward him. But 1 is certain that this can't be. When he gets closer, 2's lifeless body jerks up from something controlling him within, and his eyes begin to shudder, rapid and relentless. When 1 cries out in alarm, 9, 6, 5, and the twins hear him. 9 and 5 sprint toward the sound, and 9 tasks the remaining Stitch punks with finding 7 on their way out. But 1 is caught in 2's deadlights, his face slack and his body frozen, the thing controlling 2's lifeless body finally making itself known. The seamstress stands tall, unfurling from her cloth cocoon and revealing a staring doll's head beneath. The red light of her machinery reflects in 1's dead eyes, and she screeches out as she lunges for him.
When you thought it couldn't get any worse.
Literally.
Yeah.
This is the coolest fucking monster to me, or creature, or whatever. They said that inspiration for her was Medusa and sirens.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And that they studied the movement of cobras.
And you can,
oh yeah, she's fucking scary and cool, and this is mean as fuck.
It is.
Like this is awful.
See, and this is where I'm starting to understand why it might be a tough sell to younger audiences, because I don't know that desecration of a corpse is for the kiddos.
But yeah, and it is one of our friends.
It is, dude. We know him.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, I think one of the coolest things that they do visually is this flickering light.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved it whenever it was like in the small lighthearted bursts from 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But this being used as a vehicle for horror,
Yeah.
it's pretty great.
Yes.
Creepy.
Yeah.
9 and 5 are racing toward them, but the seamstress is moving quickly, using her myriad hands to sew 8 within her cloth exterior. One stands wrapped in her strings, silent and slack-jawed. He falls when the seamstress pulls, the jolt from hitting the ground knocking his one coin loose from his hat. It rolls across the floor as one is dragged away, wrapped in her red thread. That's some symbolism.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is what 9 and 5 come upon. The seamstress is quick, propping 2's body back up and flashing the mesmerizing light from his eyes. 5 is immediately hypnotized, his mouth falling open and his wide eyes staring. But 9 shields his face and turns away. When he sneaks a peek at 5, he turns him by the shoulders, begging him, "Don't look in his eyes." But 5 is lost.
I thought he was going to knock him down like Salem's Lot.
Oh my God. Don't look at this.
Oh my God. I hope that was a stunt kid.
I hoped it. That's so funny. Suddenly, a spear is shot through 2's body, knocking him away and pinning him to the cover of a book. 7 has returned. The seamstress turns to face her, but 7 sprints, making her way to 2 and pulling his body loose. When the seamstress tries to pull him back toward her, 7 slices the fabric holding him and frees her fallen friend. 9 is shaking 5, trying to get him to come back, but 5 just continues to stare. Instead, 9 plucks a blade from 5's pack and sprints to 1. As he saws at the red thread connecting 1 to the seamstress, she spots him and knocks him down. Again, trying to save this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm sorry
Yeah.
you used up your card. And since then, you've admitted to getting 2 killed or attempting to get 2 killed.
Yeah.
And that's what I was alluding to earlier. Did he tell the rest of them, 3 and 4 wandered off into the darkness?
I didn't ever think that.
They got snatched up by the cat or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Ooh.
what do they think? Because he has them crossed out on their little like death board or whatever.
See, there's no coming back from that.
No, I think the only thing that I can think is that there's so few of us and you do know something. And I need to know that.
Okay.
True and fair. 7 snaps into action, though, sprinting up the seamstress's long body. The seamstress grabs a hold of 7, holding her with 2 of her metal hands and snipping her scissors toward her, bringing them menacingly close. But before she can cut into 7, 9 is able to cut 1 free. A projectile is launched, hitting the seamstress right in her doll face. And when 7 turns to see who's done it, it's 5, who's finally come back to himself. The seamstress screeches, her red eyes sparking. She turns and flees, whipping her long body around like a snake as she makes her way through the aisles, still holding on to 7. 9 races for her, crying out her name, and 7 screams his in return. But the seamstress is simply too quick. She's able to escape the library with 7 in her clutches and disappear into the night. When 1 finally opens his eyes, he is lying face to face with 2. With a cry, he scrambles up to a sitting position and, panicked, swipes the rest of the red thread from his body. 9 runs back, yelling that they have to go after them. 1 wants to know where 8 is, and 9 reveals that thing has them. It's taking them back to the machine. Holding his metal hand over his mouth, 1 breathes. Then it's too late.
Dude.
I know what. Man.
He pulls himself to his feet, declaring that they need to get out of here. They need to find another safe place. But 9 refuses. No more hiding. He asserts that they're going after them. They all are. 1 wonders if he needs to remind 9 of the outcome of his last heroic venture. He thrusts his arm toward 2, who lies dead on the ground. If we're passing around blame for 2,
Yeah.
it
Let's not.
starts with 1.
All right.
No, that's great.
It does.
I think this is where that music video was filmed.
In the rubble.
Yeah.
5 crosses his lost friend's arms over his chest, and 9 goes over to 2 and kneels next to him. He's sure that he can't let this happen to them. He looks up at 5 and the twins. 9, 5, 6, 3, and 4 give 2 a proper burial. They set him on a thin piece of metal and cross his arms again over his chest. 5 lovingly places 1's coin over 2's eyes, and they set him off, pushing his resting place out into a small pool of water. They gather, watching as 2 floats off through a grate and out of sight. One stands distantly behind them, narrowing his eyes as he observes with a scowl. And as two floats away, it fades to black.
This is a very heartfelt moment and quite sad to see, though I will say it is quite an oversight as part of the production to have number 2 floating.
Come on.
You've made it far too easy, and you shouldn't have done that.
Fire bursts from the factory's chimneys. Multiple of those hot air balloon machines float around.
Yeah.
They shine a light down at the ground below in fervent search. Once the light moves away, 9 peeks out from debris. Once he steps out, the rest of the Stitch Punks are revealed. The light continues panning in patrol, but when 9 eyes the door to the factory, he decides that he's going in. 5 reaches out and grasps 9's shoulder, insisting that he's coming with him. But 9 says no, he needs 5 here. If he doesn't make it back, he tells 5 to destroy it. 5 blinks at his friend, his brow furrowed. 9 offers him a small smile, and without another word, he sprints away, ignoring 5 when he calls out for him to wait. He questions, how? 9 dodges the light expertly, and 5 raises his gaze to an oil pump in the distance. Behind him, 1 speaks up coldly, inviting 5 to tell him about his brilliant scheme. Surprisingly, 5 turns to face him with a smile. He takes an unlit match from his back and presents it, positing that they'll need a full barrel.
I know we've been watching the movie for a while, or we're kind of already into it, but this whole little interaction with 9 and 5, I was like, man, they're fucking killing it.
They
are.
Like they're doing the voice acting. I was like, you are these little sack people.
Yeah, it's
I was
so
like, that
good.
is what's going on.
Inside the factory, everything glows red from the fabrication machine's light when 9 sneaks inside. Peering around debris, he spots the seamstress, her doll's head bowed as she lifts 8 up to the fabrication machine. This is fucking creepy.
It's like they know, like they're aware, you know?
Yeah.
Like they have a plan.
His mouth is sewn shut, muffling his grunts, and his body is still bound in the seamstress's red thread. The fabrication machine takes him and lifts him up to its big red eye. The eye squeezes shut, and the machine seems to power down, but when it turns back on, it glows green with the symbols from the talisman. 8's eyes grow wide as bolts of electricity zap out at him, filling the recesses in his face, just as it did with 2. An essence is sucked from 8 as he goes slack.
Was anybody else surprised that 8's just dead? Like that
He's
was
dead.
That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed, I don't know, 9 seemed to have like a plan. I thought he was going to be able to save everyone.
He's trying to
Yeah,
save 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you were going to punch me in the face earlier.
Well, they should call him Boy 11 because he's in love with number 7. We need more of these sack people.
Right.
12.
We
Yeah.
need
exact.
12 of them.
Yes.
To be
Bag
exact.
12.
That's B12, right?
Yep. That's it.
A ghost of 8's form is visible for just a moment in the machine's eye when it turns red again. Having witnessed all of this, 9 chokes back a cry. He scrambles to take action. The seamstress isn't done. She works 7 up into her arms before bowing her head and presenting the Stitch Punk up to the machine. 9 wraps a rope around a metal nut and tosses it up to a high ledge. He cries out to the seamstress to get her attention. We see 9 for a second through the cracked red lens of the seamstress's eye before she rushes for him, still clutching onto 7. Moving once again like a snake, the seamstress slithers over to 9, but he's hidden and presents a faux Stitch Punk instead, a face crudely drawn on a cloth. The seamstress snips at it wildly with her needles, threading her red string throughout it, but when she hits the supposed head, it illuminates, revealing that it's the bulb of 9's staff.
He's really making up for the whole killing 2 thing. Because this is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
9 sprints away. Killing is crazy.
I'm sorry. That was rough.
Killing is crazy.
I understand that's too far.
9 sprints away and the seamstress follows, but the string she threaded through the fake stitch punk is pulling her back, up to where 9 threw the nut. She's dragged up, grinding gears, crushing the bulb, and waiting to do the same to her. 9 jumps and plunges his knife into the cloth, covering the seamstress, slicing it in half and letting 7 spill out. The seamstress is finally sucked up into the gears, where she is crushed, her cloth and metal pieces raining down in front of 7 and 9. Him tearing her cloth open, did it remind anybody else of Oogie Boogie?
Of course.
Yeah.
That's great.
Outside, the rest of the crew is pushing an oil barrel up to the factory. 5 pauses and wonders, where are they? Frantic, 1 tries to grab 5's match, deciding that it's been too long. They need to do it now. 5 stops 1's grasping hands, countering that they need more time.
So he was just gonna...
Yeah. Wouldn't you be like, dude, why do you keep trying to kill everybody?
Yeah.
What the fuck is happening?
9 is his only competition in the next election.
Yes. It's like, I need to run unopposed.
But it's while they're fighting that one of the floating machines shines its spotlight right on them. Instinctively, 5 shoots his grappling hook at it. He implores them to help him pull it down, but the machine begins to wail in alarm. 6, 3, and 4 gather around 5 to try to help him pull the machine down, but it continues to float, pulling the 4 of them into the air. 1 snatches up the rope and ties it to keep the rest of the group from floating away. When the machine continues to fly and the rope is pulled taut, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are knocked loose and they fall to the ground. Inside the factory, the fabrication machine turns and catches 7 and 9 making their escape out of the tunnel. It sends forth a slew of mechanical spiders. A mass of them skitter across the ground, trampling over 8's dead and discarded body. They close in on the stitch punks easily, moving tirelessly on their metal legs. 7 and 9 scramble into the tunnel and run for their lives. I shouldn't be shocked anymore at this point, but watching them trample over 8's dead body was was kind of a lot.
He's gone.
Yeah, it's like, geez, man. Show a little respect. And I'm sorry, dude, but how much time has this fabrication machine had? That was like
shit.
a million spiders.
Yeah.
I mean, they're little, so he's just cranking them out. One is peering down the same tunnel. He reports in a fearful mutter that they're coming. They're coming. 5 reaches out his hand for 1 to help him up. But instead of grabbing 5's hand, 1 snatches the match from the back on his back.
I swear to God.
I know.
This dude can't be trusted.
No.
We gotta cut him loose.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You can't be trusted. If everyone dies, it's just you.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't really...
What's your goal?
I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here. I really don't.
Yeah, it's weird.
He promptly lights the match and returns to the oil. 5 finds his footing and races over to 1, begging him, no, not yet. The 2 fight over the flame, with 1 calling 5 a fool and demanding that he let go. So 1 was the one looking into the tunnel. He knows that they're coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There again, dude, there is nothing that he can do. As
Yeah.
soon as they get up here, they need to beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like, just
Push him
it.
down with that barrel.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you don't have your cape anymore. Like,
Yeah.
the coin's gone too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But 9's call comes echoing down the tunnel, announcing that they're coming. 5 decides that it's finally time. He brings the flame down to the oil, and 3, 4, and 6 start to push the barrel into the tunnel. 5 hurries over to help them, and 1's face goes from fearful to determined as he reluctantly goes to push the barrel with the rest of them. With the bugs close behind, 7 and 9 continue to sprint toward them, hopping over the barrel as it rolls down into the tunnel. They're almost home free when the flying machine comes swooping down, passing over the heads of 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 to float down into the tunnel. It's coming straight for 7 and 9, and 7 grabs a hold of her friend and thrusts her knife forward. It punctures the fabric of the machine and it folds in on itself, losing all steam. The barrel bounces down into the factory, its flames immediately spreading once it hits the ground. The fabrication machine seems to recoil in fear as the barrel explodes. Fire bursts from the windows and the chimney of the factory, a burst of flames narrowly missing 7 and 9 as they sprint the last leg of the tunnel. They cover their faces as the explosion booms before 5, 7, and 9 share a look of relief. But another explosion rocks the factory, causing one of the chimneys to crumble and crash to the ground. The Stitch punks all flee to a safe distance.
Damn, they buried him alive, Brennan. That's wild.
So at this point, because it feels I've defeated the big bad.
Yeah.
We're about to reconvene.
Yeah.
I think there's some things that need to be.
Oh, yeah.
Some rules that need to be established.
Yeah.
Conversations that need to be had. Titles that need to be stripped.
No election.
No.
They stand in subsequent silence, watching the flames devour what remains of the factory. Black smoke climbs high into the sky. Narrowing his eyes with distaste, one asserts, "Good riddance."
But that was Five's plan.
It was. And who are you talking about? And why
Yeah.
are you talking at all?
Yeah, honestly. Yeah, what if he's like, 8 was getting out of line or whatever? It's like, dude.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, no.
5 wraps his arm around 9's shoulder, saying with relief that it's done. 3 and 4 found a phonograph with the record already loaded up. They drop the needle down on it and walk along the record to get it going. Somewhere Over the Rainbow by Judy Garland plays as the Stitch punks take a much-needed breather. Standing on the crank of the phonograph, 3 and 4 float up behind 7, their eyes shuddering, only to fall out of sight when she tries to look back at them. She turns and yells when they come back up, startling them instead. They fall next to 9, who was operating the crank. He looks up at 7 with a laugh. When he tries to use it to float up to her, he ends up falling over her legs and looking up at her sheepishly. 6 stands on 5's shoulders to reach the front of the phonograph's horn, his voice echoing back to him when he intones, "Sound." 9 and 7 giggle at this, but 7 stops laughing and places an appreciative hand on 9's shoulder. She offers him a sincere thank you. But 1 is still all alone, scowling at the flaming factory in the distance. He takes off his hat or crown or whatever and runs a hand through the gathered fabric at the top of his head. I was not expecting a top knot.
No,
I'll be honest with you.
no, not at all.
I'll be honest with you, that was a shocker for me.
Good for him.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't have that and be such a fucking cold asshole. Behind him, 5 is flipping through a stack of records, but 1 spills out and goes rolling. 5 sprints to try to catch up with it, but when it continues down a steep ledge, he stops to catch his breath. With concern, he looks at the blanket of smoke when he sees something moving. It's red light beginning to glow. The fabrication machine struggles to get to its feet, and 5 stares with horror.
I have to say, this moment before we were about to return to action and horror,
Yeah.
I really thought that they might have finished it and solved it all.
Yeah.
This song choice as well is so gorgeous.
It is.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
It feels final.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Mm.
Is it just me? John Paul, I don't know if you'll remember, but T, I know that you will. In Final Fantasy VIII, when you go to Dale or Dalit
Yes.
or whatever the fuck it's called, and there's that giant machine spider, and you think it's dead, and then it gets back up and it's like chasing you through the town. Did this remind you of that?
Dude, I hadn't thought of it, but it has to be. It has to be. There are some moments that feel...
It feels very Final Fantasy influence to me. Even when we first meet 8 and he's dragging the sword along the ground.
That's Cloud.
Like, it's Cloud for sure. There's been a few things that I'm like, but this right here and what follows right now, I'm like, dude, this is literally like when I was running for my life.
Oh, yeah.
On that mission, you know what I mean?
And I think that there's some moments with the way that 7 moves that feel almost like cutscenes with like Squall and his gunblade or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Just an observation. I have no proof. He never said anything about Final Fantasy, but the evidence was mounting, and I needed to say something about it.
No, that's a great point.
Still gathered around the phonograph with Judy Garland's sweet voice radiating from it, 9 turns when he hears 5 begin to scream. Silhouetted against the machine's red eye, 5 sprints toward them, warning of the machine that chases him. He pleads with them to run away, but before he can get away himself, the machine snatches him up. Of course, 9 runs to save him, but 1 grabs onto 9, stopping him and holding him captive, certain that there's nothing they can do.
What?
These fists are clenched.
I had enough of this, man.
Yeah.
Bathed in the machine's red giallo glow,
All right.
5 screams and tries to free himself from the metal grip of its hand. The machine brings him up, closer, until the red light switches off and the green glow of the talisman symbols takes its place. 5 screams wildly, pleading, begging, but the electricity shoots out. 5's soul is sucked away, and he falls limply into the machine's cold grip. He's flung like trash. I could have turned this movie off right now. I was devastated. I was so sad by losing 5 that I was like, at the end of this, I know that they're all going to be brought back.
See, I have to be honest.
I was positive.
I felt like, and I, of course, forgot that 8 exploded.
Yeah.
But I did. I was like, okay, so if maybe if they beat the fabrication machine, they will have
Yes.
the essences of all the numbers that are lost. All we have to do is just find their bodies again and return them to their vessels.
Oh, okay.
That's what I thought the ending was going to be.
I did too.
I hoped that until I started to see, as we were kind of leading up to this point, how careless they were with the bodies, and I was like,
Oh,
you're
God.
not.
Yeah. Just
Yeah,
like, boop.
yeah. I was like, we can't even find, dude. I don't.
No,
one of them
eight's
is
done.
lost. Yeah,
Forgot that 8 exploded.
yeah.
So, he was in there.
Yeah, after that, it's like there's no way you would need to explain where they came from.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how we got him back. And I was like, oh, let's see.
I thought it was going to be like somehow Palpatine returned.
Oh.
And we were just going to have just all of them. Like,
Yeah.
We
All
looked
right.
You
for
don't
them.
have to
they're
ask
there.
questions. I just want 5 back. And 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 clutches 3 and 4 close to her, shielding their eyes as 6 backs away in horror. 9 tries to reconcile what he's seen, his arms still gripped by 1. When the machine powers back up, we see a ghostly visage of 5 floating momentarily in its red eye. 6 realizes now they've been trapped. 1 turns to see a bridge in the distance and instructs everyone to get there. They all run toward it, the machine lumbering behind them. And on Final Fantasy, it even chases you down a bridge.
It does.
Okay.
More evidence to my point.
I will say him saying that they're trapped.
Yeah.
What
Which means they can be
happens?
free.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But before they can get on the bridge, 6 turns, trying to run back toward the machine. It's 9 now that holds him back, but 6 fights, pleading that they're trapped. They're trapped inside. With 7's help, 9 is able to pull 6 across the bridge. The fabrication machine follows, but the frail bridge is no match for its weight, and it breaks beneath it. The machine grabs onto both ends of the broken bridge, keeping itself from falling below. 7 runs over and starts to pry the machine's grip loose, but 6 begs her to stop. They can't destroy it. When 7 doesn't stop, 6 grabs 9 by the shoulders and pleads with him. They mustn't destroy it. They're inside. But 7 has managed to pry the machine off the bridge, and with one last flail on its way down, it grabs onto 6 and takes him with it.
God damn
I'm
it.
like, this is fucking unbelievable. 7 and 9 manage to fling themselves free before the rest of the bridge collapses. Clinging onto the fallen half of the bridge, the fabrication machine holds 6 in its metal hands. 9 and 7 peer over to the side to listen to him. He implores them to go back to the first room. He'll show them the source. This is all he has time to say. And we watch the reflection in 9's eyes go green when 6 is zapped as well. His lifeless body is dropped into the chasm below, disappearing from sight.
Okay, so this may be where I changed my theory.
Yeah.
Because that's just the abyss. There's
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah, no.
Well, but it's like he has all the shit in the factory. Like we can build them again if we have their souls or their essences. I was still holding on to hope because 6 is like, go back to the source, and then he's dead, and it's like, we'll be seeing him again in a minute.
Don't worry
Don't
about
even
it.
worry about it.
It's like going back in time.
Don't even worry about it.
But, I mean,
focus on the picture. Go back in time,
But
Max
we
Caulfield.
saw really. We saw Nine's attempted fabrication of one of these things. It was like that was slap ass at best, man.
He had seconds.
Yeah. I don't know if he has it in him.
6 is gone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 6 is an artist. No,
No, he's dead forever.
No.
9 hangs his head, but 1 continues to scowl. He turns to 9, positive that the machine must be destroyed. But 9 says, no, didn't they hear 6? If they're trapped inside, they can still save them. 7 asks how, and 9 says again that they need to find the source. It holds the answer. 7 disagrees, certain that they need to destroy it, but 9 pleads that there's still a chance. The fabrication machine growls and shakes the bridge below, and 1 mutters that they're out of time. 7 reminds 9 gently that they're gone, and 9 looks at her in disbelief. He tells her that she is wrong before turning and running away. When 7 calls after him, 1 places a hand on her shoulder and tells her, just let him go.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And we all heard what 6 said. I don't understand the confusion of why now
we did.
It's like, no, we have to kill it. But we all heard what he said.
It's not as if
Why
he
are-
like whispered it to 9
yeah,
or something.
Yeah, if he's the only one who heard.
Yeah.
The whole group heard.
And I'm sorry, no way that 7 should even be listening to 1. Wasn't like they have a complicated history that she left the thing
Yes.
in the first place.
Yeah.
That's true.
And so it's all alone that 9 returns to the scientist's office, where his maker is still dead on the floor. He finds a sketch for what would become the fabrication machine on the floor, complete with the node for the talisman to go into. He continues to look around and finds a sketch of plans for his own creation. Scrawled above the drawing is the title, Number 9. He reaches out to touch his likeness when the wind blows the shutters open and the paper floats away. Now, 9 can finally see what's behind it. That box with the tag simply reading 9. The scientist's hand still rests on its top, only falling when 9 scoots the wooden box toward himself, and slowly he lifts the lid. A light inside begins to glow as machinery moves and a lens slides into place over the light. A hologram of the scientist appears in front of 9. He greets 9 by name, admitting that his great machine had such promise. We see him in the past, tinkering with the machine as he shares that it was supposed to be an instrument of progress, of creation. The door slams open and the shadow of the Chancellor falls upon the floor. In this black and white memory, the eye of the machine begins to glow red. The scientist turns to the Chancellor in silent argument. He tells 9 that that was the agreement the Chancellor failed to honor. A soldier comes into the room and grabs the scientist, forcing his arm behind his back and pulling him from the room. The scientist concedes to 9 that the fault is hardly his alone to bear. When more soldiers come to take the machine, it begins to fight them. We watch the scientist place nodes onto his head, and he confides that the machine was born purely of his own intellect, which he now understands wasn't enough. In the hologram in front of 9, he admits now that the creation was deeply flawed and dangerous because it lacked a human soul and it could easily be corrupted by who controlled it. And that's why he made each of them. He explains that they are all that's left of humanity. They are all pieces of the scientist's soul, and together, they and this device will protect the future. He opens his palm to reveal the talisman, and he tells 9 to look closely at it and to remember what he sees. He takes off his glasses, pinches the bridge of his nose, and rubs his eyes as the video ends. He goes from black and white to color as we slip into the past. He finishes recording his message for 9, and then he sets up the talisman in front of 9's currently lifeless hanging body, just like we saw at the beginning. It glows green. Just like in the text the twins showed 9, the scientist puts a mask over his face and peers at the talisman and at 9 behind it. Green sparks go wild, flowing from the scientist to the talisman, making his shadow dance along the wall. Finally, it becomes too much. The scientist grips in futility at the wood of his desk before finally falling backward and slumping onto the floor. As he falls, the candle on his desk is blown out. And he still rests the same way now, face down on the floor of his office next to 9. 9 peels away a piece of paper that blew against the scientist's face, and he places a hand in his wiry white hair, contemplating.
So this definitely fills in some of the blanks that we were a little,
Yeah.
the more we look at this and the more we talk about it, you see this bold new invention that is the result of an egotistical kind of a leadership leading to the rise of soulless machines that end humanity and destroy the planet. And the solution for it is the soul that it was lacking.
Yeah.
And it's like in 2026, how do you not go directly to the comparison?
Oh, no. With AI?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think for me, this opens a little more questions because I think now it just makes me wonder, was this you giving him your last part of your soul?
And that's why he died.
And then he died?
Yeah.
And then even at that, so what did you do with the other ones as you made them? Like
He's
you
like,
made
no.
them and then...
Now go out there and be somebody.
Go hide until somebody finds you.
Yeah.
Or go what, like...
He was definitely careless with the other ones.
Yeah.
I will say, Acker had said that, like the scientist, he sees a piece of himself in each of the Stitch Punks. But he also said that humans are inherently flawed. And if 10 is perfect, then 9 is as close as you can get.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I do feel very similarly to JP where it has, and I did say a second ago, and I still stand by it.
Yeah.
That it does answer some questions and fills in some of the blanks as far as, I guess, the trajectory of this creation.
Yeah.
And all that. But it's like, well, each Stitch Punk, I believe,
Yes.
Yeah.
contains a fragment of his soul.
Yeah.
But I also don't understand this talisman, really.
Yeah.
And
why does it go into the machine?
Yeah.
That's
I'm
weird. That's
Yeah, because you made
I'm
it to have
confused about that as
yeah,
well.
because it's like I don't understand. And is it just flat out? Because this is going beyond science to me. I feel
Yeah.
when you can literally take pieces of your soul and put it into a this feels like magic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so it's like I'm still trying to follow everything and figure everything out and make sense of it as far as the narrative goes.
Right.
But this is where I'm starting to feel like things are a little underbaked.
Okay.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think that when you're just along for the ride, if you just take it for like the symbology of it, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Then it's very good and it's very like heartfelt, and there's some hope that humanity and soul is the only thing that can counter what has been done. There's something beautiful there, but if you're looking at the story itself, it is kind of like, but what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
And why are you doing it?
Yes.
And it is a little creepy for this to be the scientist's solution. He's like, I'm going to divide my soul. Like
It's a little dull.
Yeah.
And then 8 of them I will abandon.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the trial puppets.
It doesn't make sense. I don't. Looking into it too much, it's like maybe step back.
You got to view it from back here. Yeah.
But I will say the real and seeing all this, his message to 9, it's very sincere.
It
Yes,
is.
yes.
And still somehow, even though you come away with it with a lot of questions, it still pulls at your heartstrings.
It
does.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they are successful in that way.
Yeah.
Agreed. We cut to 9 sprinting across the wastes. He stops to look around, and when he sees a blast in the distance, he runs in that direction. 3, 4, 7, and 1 are hard at work. The twins are loading missiles into a cannon. 1 is taking aim at the approaching fabrication machine, and on his order, 7 pulls a lever to fire. The missile is launched, exploding right next to the machine, but charred and sparking with electricity, it still keeps coming. 9 is still running over to them, making everyone stop when he cries out that he knows the truth now. He shares that it's the scientist. He's the source. 1 glowers, but 9 goes directly to 7 instead, explaining that the scientist gave them his soul. We are him. 7 stares at 9 with wonder, and the twins wear mirror expressions of shock. 1 remains unmoved.
Not surprised.
No.
And when the fabrication machine continues to inch closer, he demands that they load the cannon. 9 implores him to stop. They'll destroy the talisman, but 1 declares that it's too late. He jumps on the lever to pull it himself, and it's a direct hit. Right in front of them now, the fabrication machine falls forward, still, but it quickly gets back up. The Stitch Punks give chase as the fabrication machine bats the cannon out of the way with ease. They continue to run, managing to escape when the machine becomes entangled in barbed wire. 9 finds a recess for them to hide in, and they all cluster together as 9 draws his plan out in the dirt. They have to take the talisman from the machine because it can be used against it. He decides that he'll lure the machine to himself, then they'll have a chance to get it. 7 pleads with him not to do this. What if he's wrong? But 9 is certain. He assures 7 that he'll show her how to use it, and they'll be okay. The machine has freed itself and is closing in. 9 sketches out the talisman and is showing 7 the sequence when the machine bursts through the wood, concealing them. I don't know how he knows everything now because I watched the same video as him and I don't know how to fucking play Simon on that thing.
No.
I don't know how to do that.
No.
The group flees as the machine reveals another weapon, a flamethrower. Fire licks out at them, catching ammunition, which explodes and launches the Stitch Punks back into the open. 7 flies, hitting a wooden pole and going limp, her bird skull mask flopping into the dirt. Injured, 1 hides away himself, examining with horror the wreckage of his burned, mangled hand. 9 rises slowly, turning as the fabrication machine descends on him. But when 7 sees this, she snaps into action. She runs for 9, grabbing him and clinging, begging that they can't do this without him. 9 places his hands over 7's, reminding her sincerely that they all died because of him. He started it, and now he needs to finish it. He holds her hand before racing away. 1 speaks up sourly. They left us nothing. Why do we need to right their wrongs? Sometimes 1 must be sacrificed. 9 stands bravely in front of the fabrication machine, its eye painting him in its red light. It powers down and 9 waits for his turn. But just as the light returns, changed to green, 1 sprints over and pushes 9 out of the way, taking the bolts that come from the machine instead. 1's body spasms as that horrible light glows within him, and his essence is sucked away. Is it too late?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like JoJo said? I think it might be.
Yeah, dude.
Because
you were going to explode us.
Yeah. Well, he said that with everybody else. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's too late. Just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucker.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
He did.
Comes around, goes around. 9 screams and rushes to pull the talisman free. Once the machine is finished with 1, he pulls it loose, falling into the dirt. The machine searches the ground frantically with its darting red eye and spots 9 clutching onto the talisman. But before it can do anything, 9 initiates the sequence and turns the talisman toward the machine. A blast of green lights shoot out, striking right at the core of the fabrication machine. And when it can take no more, it finally explodes, and the hulking skeleton of metal collapses, seemingly falling right on top of 9. The last 3 standing, 3, 4, and 7, run over to him and find his body slumped and still. After a moment, 9 finally opens his eyes. 7 pulls him into an embrace, breathing that he did it. But 9 disagrees, looking at the talisman in his hand. He didn't. Not yet. Later that night, around a campfire, they have erected flags for each of their fallen friends. 9 still holds the talisman, standing solemnly in front of the cloth marked 5. 7 approaches quietly behind him with the twins. After locking eyes with her, 9 presses the buttons on the talisman, coaxing out its green glow. It shakes so wildly in his hands that he drops it, and when it hits the ground, it opens. A beacon of light emanates from it, and within, a ghostly 8 appears. When the remaining group smiles at him, his lips rise into a grin. 6 is next, waving at them. The twins return the wave enthusiastically. 6 takes 8 by the arm and leads him to his place, where the cloth flag reads 8, and 6 finds his own number and stands in front of it. 2 is next, rising from the light with hope and a smile. He steps to the side to make a way for 5, who looks at 9 with hope. 2 takes his place, but 9 stays behind as 1 rises up. The score even grows a little darker as 1 steps forward, but he places a hand on 9's shoulder, patting it and smiling before finding his marker. Now all in place, ghostly 8, 6, 2, and 1 begin to float, but 5 stays on the ground. He turns and casts a worried look at 9. With the reassuring nod from 9, his worry disappears, and he is able to float too. 1, 2, 5, 6, and 8 soar high above them, swirling until they finally disappear into the clouds. 7 assures 9 that they're free now. As the last streak of green disappears, the clouds spark with neon lighting and a boom of thunder. It begins to rain. 9, 7, 3, and 4 stare at this with wonder and amazement, huddled close together.
The score to me at this portion of the film was really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to look it up and see because I had an inkling of who I thought did it, and I was half right.
Okay.
So the score was composed by Deborah Lurie, but based off of themes provided by Danny Elfman.
Aha.
Okay.
And I had read this interview with Lurie where she had talked about how it was decided by the producers that Elfman would compose themes to give to Lurie, and she would elaborate on them and kind of orchestrate them in a way through her own creativity. And so basically, this is how you get this score sounding quite Elfman-esque, if that's a term.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But also maintaining its own originality through Laurie's ideas.
Right.
Okay.
Because I was like, this has to be Danny Elfman. And it's like, well, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He assisted.
Yeah.
I think that it definitely helps, especially here, because I was feeling I was a little touched.
No,
Well, yeah.
Because I'm finally accepting the fact that they're not coming back.
No.
Because I
Yeah.
was really clinging on to hope.
Oh, no, they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone.
So they go to the sky first. And
Yeah,
then, right?
then they'll come back.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. And again, with things not necessarily, being completely explained narratively,
Mm-hmm.
they're still able to craft this moment to where it is very emotionally effective.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it is beautiful to witness, seeing the color in the sky.
Mhm.
And then what we get next, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. We pull away from 3, 4, 7, and 9. Their campfire and their shrines to the fallen. Raindrops making our view of things blurry. 7 asks, what happens next? 9 admits, I'm not sure exactly, but the world is ours now, and it's what we make of it. Green flecks illuminate within lingering raindrops, glittering with hope, with life, and maybe with a new era. The score swells as it fades to black. The talisman bursts open once again, the beam of light revealing the credits. So, what did you guys think of 9?
No, I really enjoyed that. This was a very fun movie to go over, and I know there is a lot to be like, oh, this is happening now. But I think that it is very incredible how because there are a lot of questions, and then there is a lot of story that we don't kind of get. but it doesn't matter because I don't want to say because they're not people, but it makes it, for me, it makes it a little easier to swallow because I'm not like, well, how did that person do that? And it's just like, okay, I'm following the story. I see what you guys are doing, where we're going. Fuck the system. We gotta whatever. Corporate America steals our souls and then, put them in this red light thing. And we've gotta, you know what I mean? We've got to smash it and whatever.
And they use us for what they need and then
right,
toss us away.
We are puppets. We are these
Yeah.
things.
Right.
And I get it. I do think, again, like I said, it's very, I know cool's not the word for it, but it's very mind-boggling watching this, how it is still very, I guess, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but it's like, how old is this movie? And then it still like rings true to today. And then it does seem, again, like a little story of we have to overcome. Like, we have to. Even if we don't understand what we're doing here, we can look around and see, hey, this place is fucked up.
Yeah.
We've got to make a change.
And we have to work together.
Yes. Yeah. Even if the one old guy is like, you young whippersnappers or whatever, it's like, dude, shut up. Let us take care of it. Just help us. You know what I mean? Because towards the end, even at the end, he's like, one has to make the sacrifice for whatever. And it was him.
Yeah.
He did it because he even knew, okay, I've got to do something.
He's like, damn, I've been fucking up.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I've become a real problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you think about it, it's also this idea of if you're not fit to lead, you can't cling to this role of leadership forever.
Yes.
Either get with the times, get with the program, or get out of the way.
Well, I know, because he kept like, I'm trying to keep everybody safe, but it's like, dude, you're just hiding.
Yeah.
That's not keeping, we're not growing. We're not learning anything. We're not doing anything but waiting until we have to go to another corner.
And his concern also was not for everybody.
No, it wasn't. It was for him.
Everyone was expendable as long as it meant that he would be safe. And with his little fucking cape.
Yeah.
Which is gone now.
Which is
It is. But yeah, what a really good movie. I still really like this.
Yeah, I agree. I think the importance of it ending on a message of hope.
Yes.
Because that is what you feel when you see these green glowing fragments inside of the raindrops.
Right.
That it is this new life or this new way, or like you said, a new era that is hopefully being born from this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that there is a lot of depth here that I do appreciate.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, it's fantastic that we can see this film. And I know it's only 17 years old.
Yeah.
But to go back and see the depth of this messaging in 2026 and still find it relevant and relatable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's also very sad that you can go back and this message is still relevant and relatable.
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. I think that there is, because of that, an unfortunate timeless quality to this film.
Right.
But I think that it's also kind of impressive to write something in that way to where you can come back to it years later and still get something from it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really liked it. And just on top of it, just being this fun ride with these Stitch Punk characters that are adorable and have their own little quirky characters. One of them is horrible.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a lot here to enjoy and appreciate, even if the narrative for me could use a little more fleshing out. I don't mind ambiguity at all.
Yeah.
I actually like it a lot.
Right.
I just think that whenever they set up that video that we watched at the end with the scientist, goddamn, do I have a lot of questions, you know?
Yeah. Some were answered, but a lot more were.
Right.
Were
It's like, no,
raised.
hold on.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this was poignant,
Yeah.
I think is the word. I really enjoyed it. I think that it does not answer all of your questions, but by the end, when you're watching all, them kind of be laid to rest and contribute to this potential new beginning, you're not like, but how did the scientist, you know what I mean? You're not thinking about that stuff. I also, as much as I really wanted them, especially 5, to come back, I think it is important to have this messaging of there are certain decisions that are made, certain paths that are traveled, that there is no going back. There is no, sequence of buttons that you can press to make everything go back the way it was. Sometimes things happen and they're changed forever. And all we can do is try to make something out of the rubble.
Yeah.
I think that is important to take away from, even though it is sad and it's not fair. Because 5.
Yeah.
Because 5.
I think I'm too sensitive for messaging like that.
Yeah. And 2.
Yeah.
And 6 didn't do anything. Really just fuck 1.
Yeah.
And I don't really care about 8.
How many did you like versus?
Let's do some quick math.
Yeah.
But I just, it's, I don't know. There's just so much being said that as we, are beating this dead horse is just so unfortunately topical with its takeaways in the year of 2026. And there's no way that Acker could have made this with those things in mind, or that he and Petler could have, written this. Nobody knew the horrors ahead.
Yeah, no.
I don't know how else to phrase it. Nobody saw any of this shit coming.
Well, and they're also
to the extent that it has come.
Minus the machines, they're also pulling from history in an interesting way.
Yes, yeah.
But I mean, the shit is all cyclical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They say, what is it? History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes.
That's good. Yeah. And it's rhyming. But
it's got bars.
It's got bars, unfortunately. But we can kind of slide into ratings as well. I think that this is in nearly equal parts very hopeful and very bleak and sad. And kind of a warning in a kind of upsetting way. But I think that this is something that I would recommend anyone to watch. And it could maybe, I don't know if you have certain beliefs or certain whatever, if sitting down and watching 9 is going to shake you out of your fucking whatever the fuck you want to call that. But I think maybe it is a way to present ideas without straight up presenting the ideas. I don't really know. I'm trying to be, whatever. I don't know. But I think that, with all of that aside, all the commentary and messaging aside, it is still very entertaining. It is beautiful work that was done in this.
Yeah.
The voice acting is incredible. The animators put their whole animussy in this.
Right.
Yeah.
How did I know?
I am just really impressed with the
it's too close to animal, I think. I think that's why I hit my ear wrong.
I think that the creature design on these villains is really, really cool. And the character design on these steampunks, on these stitch punks, with the little differences that they have with the, metal plate, or one's top knot, or, 5's missing eye. I think they all look really, really cool and they look unique, but they all look cohesive together.
Yeah.
I love the darkness and the bleakness, and how they really do a good job of balancing that with something that is suitable for kids to watch. And I think, I'm not one for indoctrination, but I think that showing films like this to your kids, it is a way to present themes in a palatable, easy to digest. We can watch this movie and then have a conversation after.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. This is a really good movie. Is it perfect? No, because when you, at the end of the day, there are some things narratively that, I am left wanting. Is it necessarily needed? No, but I would like it.
Yeah.
It would be nice. I'm rambling at this point. I don't know. I'm talking about indoctrination. I don't know what's happening anymore. So I will just say all that to say that on a scale from 1 to 10, remarkably resilient rag dolls, I am going to lovingly give 9 an 8.5 out of 10. I know that 9 was right there.
Yeah.
I get it.
I will now open up the floor to you.
No, yeah, I don't know how much more I need to say. I did enjoy this movie a lot, and I think that it is, like I said, it it is how similar the movie is to what's going on in the world right now. It did kind of make me think a little more, or like kind of what's going on in the movie. I do agree that there is the questions or whatever once we get towards the end. But for me, I'll be honest. Do I think that we need those answers? No.
Right.
I think that this movie is the way it is, and it's fine. Would I personally like more? Yeah. But I mean, for what we get, I think it's a story of, it is very bleak, but I think that hopeful ending is, for me, what I do like, because it is the human soul that saved what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I like that. That's good. Plus, fuck all these AI data center shit that's going on. But it is cool. The like you're saying, the animation looks really good. The music is good. The voice acting is incredible. Just such a good time. But I would recommend this movie to anybody. Like, I think it's really, really good. And even if you're not trying to liken it to what's going on,
delve deeper.
Yeah, just the story of hope, or of them working together and kind of seeing at the end, how things did play out. It's a pretty good movie. I did enjoy that. But I think for me, on a scale from 1 to 10, remarkably resilient ragdolls, I'm going to give 9 an 8 out of 10 remarkably resilient ragdolls. I know he's big. He's bigger than the rest of them, so I think that's okay.
That's good.
No, I don't know what more I could add. I think that we've kind of said it all.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, and immediately negating what I just said. The idea or the topic of environmentalism as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's something that hasn't really been touched on, but I think is also present here.
Yes.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know. I do enjoy this film for what it is. There are some things that I would like more fleshed out a little bit. But I really come away from it with a lot of... There's a lot of emotionally resonant sequences.
Yeah.
And moments that really do pull at your heartstrings, whether or not the narrative clicks completely.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a real achievement, whether it's through the visuals or just the way that even sometimes the score can have that effect on you.
Yeah.
I just think that that's really impressive work.
Mm-hmm.
But I could even see myself returning to this from time to time. It's not one that's like a one and done at all.
Yeah,
Oh,
for
no.
sure.
But I don't know. I think that there is something special here. And I don't know if they would ever come back for a sequel.
I know that there was talks of a sequel, but I don't know that anything came of it.
Right.
I don't know what they would even do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how you could.
Is it just like an oasis now? Like it's beautiful and they're just having a good
Yeah,
time?
just them.
It's an hour and a
that's
half
it.
of them just
Yeah,
hanging
it's like
out.
everything's fixed now. We're having a great time. But yeah, I think that's about all. I am really glad that one is dead and that we don't have to worry about any of that. Nine can lead
Yeah.
them
Right,
now
yeah.
into a much better future.
And it almost is like thinking you talking about them being like everything's fine now. I'm thinking of the four of them and how 3 and 4 are very childlike.
Uh-huh.
And so it's almost like us making it a better place for the ones that come after us.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
I like that.
like a little found family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful in that way.
Okay.
But for me, to sum it all up, out of 10 remarkably resilient ragdolls, I am going to give 7.5 remarkably resilient ragdolls out of 10. There's a lot of really good stuff here, and I think that despite the fact that we have told you everything,
Yeah.
it's still worth going back and checking out.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's all from us at Podmortem. What would you rate 9 and what should we watch next? Let us know on Instagram at the Podmortem. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like our Stairhole Productions page on Facebook. Be sure to follow each of us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Blood and Smoke, at Juggalo Daddy 84, and at Travis MWH. Thanks again to Original Cinematic for sponsoring this week's episode. Please consider pledging to our Patreon, where you'll get over 300 hours of bonus content, our monthly schedule, access to our Discord server, and the opportunity to help us decide which films to cover. And if you're looking for Pod Mortem or Stairhole Productions merch, follow the link in our episode notes. Stay tuned until after the music for a special shout out to our Wendigo Getter patrons. And remember, in a time of technological advancements, we must remember not to lose our souls, because all the technology in the world is nothing without the heart of humanity. Until next time. Thank you for staying tuned for a special thank you to our Wendigo Getter patrons.
Woo, yeah.
Very good. A special thank you to
Chris Ontiveros, Kristen Lofton, Megan Martinez, Kimberly Bass, Sophie Hodson, Anthony Jerome M., Jordan Nash, Kent Morton, Lala Thomas, Travis and Nisa Hunter, Miguel Myers ATX, Jennifer Perez, Allison O'Neill, Carissa, TJ and Angie Bronson, Andy Teague, Applin Ontiveros, Karima Rhodes, Kimberly Kleindienst, Bobby Holmes, Donna Eason, JD Rizak, Molly Gerhardt, Armand Spasto, Aaron Aguirre, Eggy, William Barry, Charity Oxner, Amanda Six, Mandy Rainwater, Jordan Roberts, Dylan, Spencer Montalvo, Pancake the Panda, John Ramos, Michael Newting, Alexis Roberts, Itzy M., Gary Horton, Kate Lamp, Carlos and Sydney, Jessica Hunter, Helena Rudder, Alan Johnston, Mariah, Livy Fun, Scott Troutman Wise, Mozzie Bear, Dave Burke, Emma Hagel Kissinger, Valerie G., Emiliana, CB, Taylor Santana, Will Lewison, Angelique, Smelly Poo Poo Head, Beth Bauer, Cookie, Esperanza J., Jason Kyle, OKC, Joshua Rumley, Danielle Peralta, Sawyer Reese Farr, Sahara, Girl That's Scary, Cassandra, Andrea Simmons, Ashley Higuera, William and Xxena Rush, Ryan Brom, Megan Ochoa, Laura Lassiter, Eileen O., Marissa E., Henry F., Megan M., Strangely Sarah, Christy Beck, Nancy and Andy, Amanda Lopez, Andy Terrell, Erica Morin, Tris Wynn, K.87, Mariah Jensen, Carrie A., Lonnie Lono, Powell, Kayla E., Maggie H., Murder Stina, Kristen Marcy, Ori81 Boricua, Look Like That One Girl, Bog Boy, Felnez63, Alita Pui, Probably My Jugs, Kate Thackeray, Wade Pack, A Lizard, Bay J., Jay Rich, Topher Williams, Elena Metler, Valerie K., Christy Lee Kruger, Professor of Humanities, Laura McCarricker,
Naomi, Josh Smith, Autumn Green, Abby Kopp, Crystal 831, Skank Sinatra, Morgan Alexander, Tony Osteen, Julie Fredborg, Rihanna S., Daniel Taylor, Anna Kate, Heather Ortiz, Kim H., August, Jenny May, Old School Cool, Malik Caselli Armstrong, Scarly D, Toya Shea, Katie, Martin Shaw, Star, Tyler J, Cam Davies, Patrick Hoagland, Raven, Wesley Tart, Kristen Jackson, Jacob Nordberg, Samantha, Damian Grant, Half Price Horror, Clemmy, Nisi Nay, Jason X Rules, Aaron Norman, Victoria Smith, Patricia A. Graham, Erasmo Pena, Danielle Wright, Chuck D, Tabitha Thomas, Connie Lingus, Richard Murray, Irene, Jordan McCarthy, Rosalind Harnius, Emily Rance, Amy, Lisa and Kathy, Mike H, Christian Sadler, Hannah, Sarah Jack, Casey L, Evelyn Knight, Paula Garcia, Nikki M, Megan and Alexandra Saldivar, Lisa Sykes, Kelsey Niemeyer Cook, Martina LaForce, JG, Morgan Novello, Ashley, Alex M, Brandon C, Gordon Sutherland, Georgia Renland, Ashley Poe, Diana Joe, Connor Gormley, Carrie Parker, Katie Face, Jane Pillsbury, Caitlin Asher, Mia Franz, Pooh Bear, Spicy Caldera, This is the Zodiac Speaking, Jason the Ghost, Moldy Tic Tac, Brian Ward, Tanner Rutgers, Gremlin Keeper 22, Sam Spade 666, Veronica, Kristen Rhodes, Daniel Laurent, Carmito, TVR, A Very Sweepy Baby, Nicholas Rage, A Lazy Boy, Nicola Williams, Sadison Miles, Stu Corbett, Brick O, Jaden Nicole, Lost Fan 08, George L. Robertson, Mercedes X Bleeple, Joel Miller Apologist, Cool Trainer Elijah, Mrs. Bloomingdale, Sierra Duncan, Renee Hart, Meg Like Sleep,
Final Boy, Alani, Elizabeth Thompson, Joey, Michelle Nicole, The Lipstick Demon, Less Than Zombie, Franklin Badge, Sean Reeves, the Kryptonian Orphan, Melissa B., Elena C., Jillian Mumford, Evil Chris, Rex Term Raul, Witchy Poop 19, Brian Avers, Danielle Milton, Instant Horror, Skin Deep, Ashay Guevara, Aaron Mr. Clean Bouchard, Henny Kravitz, Francisco Almos, Paunchy Cat, Christina Perez, Buddy Boy Mac, Revamped, a Rewatch Podcast, Sarah Coolidge, Showlivia, Film Fiend, Catherine Clark, Brandon Brown, Jessica Hernandez, Camry, Amy Shipley, Like the Donuts, Jack, Alyssa Muskites, Jennifer Hager, Nox Nocturnal, Byron Pittman, Sophia Mason, Most Unholy S'more, Pear Bear, Tom Blades, Bonnie Bozell, Crystal Reddy, Stu Mocker Fokker, Sean Weeks, Chardonnay Carlina, Samara Samuels, The Chief King, Nicholas Doba, Philip Thomas, Ashley Gravely, It's Austin Buttercrush, Kimberly Martinez, James Floyd, Estefany, Hope Mowery, Abe the Camel, DGS, J. Taylor Art UK, Robert Murdoch, GQ, Danielle Carter, Jason Moore, please, Nosley, Emily Jeffries, Joey Monda, Madison Basal, Jasmine, Midnight Martini, Victor Rushing, Gavin Annette, Jennifer Monahan, Beetle Babley, Lucille Brooker, Tono and Tone, McKay Dingus, Brian Highsmith, Abigail Spitzer, Christina Juarez, Billy Williams, Robert Quadriguez, Wispy Rainbow, Bionic Shoulder Blade, Zachary Luke, Squid Fart, Amy Goodman, Spooky Gal 89, Alyssa Defoe, Trev Heron, Vicky Worgan, Brooke Ball, Jason, Ryan Skelton, Travis, coolest name on earth, Adams, and Sage Pearsell. Thank you so much.
Thank each and every one of you.
Thank you all. And we want you to know that in our eyes, y'all are truly number one.
Yeah.
Aw.
But not like the one from this
No.
movie.
Thank you.
No.
That's
Like
very
it-
important.
Yeah, no.
Not that one.
Not
No.
that one. Until next time.